Dun 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 dun. Portrait blank. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Okay, guys, what's going on? We'll get started in 1 second. Let me get in here. Hey, Connor, been looking forward to your stream. Sweet. Thank you, Gianna. Yeah, no problem. Love hearing that. What's up, Nick? Let me get both my chats set up here and let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. Here we go. There we go. What up, Nick? Greenville, South Carolina. Okay. All right. You know, anyone who's seen my streams knows I like to just go over all of our latest updates first, talk about what I think's gonna happen, and then I'm just go straight to taking people's questions. The Cape looking like it's gonna get snow, possibly. So let me, yeah. So let's just get into everything. Let me take a sip of this real quick. You guys like my new on-air sign? Clearly, I'm making major investments into my streaming setup. Took me at least 5 minutes to put that up. I'm all about the ambiance. All right. Quickly, before I take any questions, let's go over what our latest updates are. By the way, the latest NAM is loading in. This is extremely important. Because the universe hates me and still has the Euro and GFS completely disagreeing, and I couldn't be more frustrated. Okay. What's happening? We thought last snowstorm was a little difficult to forecast. It was easy compared to this one. Also love the option to watch on YouTube. Thanks for streaming on here. Yeah, I'm trying to get into multi-streaming. Took a while to set up, but it's cool. Yep. Okay, so let me get into everything, and then I'll take questions, guys. So, what's your latest GFS do? Your latest GFS still wants a little bit of snow in Dallas. Lots of snow in Arkansas, northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, near Atlanta, still getting snow. Areas of central, northern South Carolina, a lot of North Carolina still getting snow. You're getting snow through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, the DMV, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all up the coast. It starts to tilt, big snow there for the Mid-Atlantic as well. This would be crazy through DC and Baltimore on top of what they already have. Houston not looking like snow. Now, there's a crazy look later on out in the future that wants to bring more snow into Texas and another southern snowstorm. I told you guys that we might see something else, but that's too far out. Here's the problem. And we really need this latest NAM to load so we can see if we have a model consensus on the GFS. Here is the problem. Our Euro hasn't just not came into consensus with the GFS. Look at what it does with this system. It's become even more of a wimpy nothing. You'd still get some snow into, and it really doesn't want to put pretty much anything into Dallas, but, well, it does, a little bit. You still get some snow through these southern states. It'd be a lighter snow. It would be a much lighter snow up north. This would be kind of a much wimpier look here. Our icon, latest update. Mass may dodge a bullet again, yeah. What's going on? What's going on, Dennis? So, here we go. Icon still agrees with the GFS, the Canadian, which we need to wait to get to the 00Z of this. Still likes more of a GFS look, but it's kind of a combination between the Euro and the GFS. So this NAM right here is extremely important. And, ooh, here we go. Nope, that's the 12Z. Don't want to, there we go. It's not far enough out yet. So we have quite the time to wait on this. Let's get into what our latest blend of models shows us. This will give us a little bit of a clue of what we could see. So let me fix this up for everyone to see. National Blend of Models is, you know, widely considered one of our best guesstimates on what's going to happen. So we can go to our most recent 00Z National Blend of Models, and you can see what it's doing here. Let's start. And remember, these snow totals on the National Blend are always going to be conservative. It's more looking at where it thinks snow is going to fall, not how much is going to fall. So by regions, what's our latest update? South Central. So again, it doesn't think that like the Dallas area is going to get an inch of snow. I would add 3 inches to all of this and any snow you see here, because it's taking models that are not showing any snow and models that are showing a lot, averaging out everything, trying to get the mean, the most should be the most accurate forecast we have right now. But not with the snow totals, but where snow is going to fall. Tatum, Tommy, and TMB. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, anyone's just joined. I'm just going through some things, and then I'm gonna talk to chat. But you can see here, it still likes the chance for some snow down south here. We'll go and we'll push into the southeast. What's the latest here? Now, as this new NAM comes up, this is going to be big. Still a good sign for some snow into Atlanta and Charlotte and parts of South Carolina, maybe out towards the coast in North Carolina. Still a good sign for northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. Great. Tennessee is just in a great spot. So is Appalachia. It's a great spot. Remember, these totals are conservative, extremely conservative on the National Blend because they're accounting for models that show no snow. So you can add 2 inches to all this. And what you notice here with this National Blend, it does like the GFS route, getting snow up here and up the coast into the Mid-Atlantic, and that might translate into the coastal New England as well. It also likes this snow up here through the Ohio Valley. So National Blend is a good model. Still likes that type of stuff happening. Now I really want to wait for this NAM to load because this is going to be an important look. Closer you get, the more you really look for your the accuracy in your short-term models more than anything. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to start taking some questions from you guys. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure that I've got this lined up correctly. 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Detroit, there's not many models. I mean, I believe we do actually have a kind of clipper. This would kind of clip all these areas up north if we got the GFS look. This would be very small accumulation, but it would put snow down into a lot of areas up into the north. And you can kind of see why. You got a secondary low pressure system up here. You've got some energy involved with this, some rising moisture condensing up here. It's happening down here. It's typical sometimes when you get low pressures between each other to see kind of a snow band linked up between them. We see this look all the time. So yeah, I would put a little snow for everyone. What are you thinking for Central Virginia? Yeah, God, I really want the new NAM to load. I mean, I'll show you if we get a GFS outlook what it would look like. I'm a little bit leaning towards the GFS, but not completely. This new NAM is gonna probably sway me one way or the other. Central Virginia. I'm going to take these totals and make them more conservative and say 2 to 4 inches. We'll see how this progresses. Snow for the Eagles game. Is it in Philly? It is in Philly, isn't it? Wait, is it in Philly? And is it on Saturday? If it's in Philly, it's not in Philly. Where is it? Oh, it is. Okay. No, if it's on Sunday, this thing would be off the coast. Yeah. You could have snow on the ground, though. Yeah. This thing would be off the coast. What is a chance for a nor'easter? T-Dub, I hate giving chances. That's why I always take you back to my weather bell map that tells you the chances. I hate, it's like, I would say that chance for nor'easter is not very good. But then people think it's not going to happen. It's not impossible. I just don't think it's great. So let me adjust this a little bit so you guys can see what's going on down there. Actually, I need this to look like this. I want it to be you guys to see everything. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, Tatum Tommy, TMB. Tatum, Arkansas, TMB. Mike 257. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Did he say Philly is getting... Yes, Philly. I mean, well, yes. I think Philly gets some snow regardless. But there's going to be a big difference on how much snow Philly gets when we get consensus from the Euro and GFS, which we should have at least some by now, but it's gotten worse. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Just the messenger. Why are you here? Because there's less people here, so we have a chance. So you have a chance to see my question. That is true. That is true. That's the hack. I see everyone's question on YouTube, and the questions on my TikTok fly by, but I still try. Augusta, Georgia. Listen, northern Georgia is going to see some accumulating snow. How far south it goes, we'll have to see. Does it get down to Augusta? How far south is Augusta, Georgia? I mean, you could see like maybe a half inch into there, dusting to a half inch based on our latest models is probably my best guesstimate. What's the weather for the Flyers game in Phillies Saturday night? Well, that's interesting because depending on the timing, if this system changes timing, it could be snowing. But I think the system may be moved off by then. Where in PA do you live? North, about 20 miles north of the city. Man, flip the GFS, go all out on the Euro. Well, repeat edge. The Euro is usually the better model. Historically, when you have storms like this that sweep through Texas, not through Texas, through the South, the GFS actually does better. It's just a thing. The Euro's right 8 out of 10 times over the GFS, but typically in this sort of situation, the GFS will handle better. The GFS handles subtropical lows, subtropical moisture much better, and how that subtropical moisture moves. So its speed, its timing down here is going to be much different than the Euro. The Euro is going to drag the system. So this is one of the few times where the GFS can beat out the Euro in May. That's why usually I would just be showing you loops of the Euro because, you know, that's just how it is. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't have said. Yeah, I just screwed it. I live in Milford, PA, so just wondering. How much snow could Boston get? We'll have to see. I mean, yeah, the GFS would want to put a ton of snow down in the Boston, but we'll see what this NAM says, and then I'll tell you. What are the chances if anything hits Long Island? Long Island's likely to get snow from this system, but it might not be a lot. I think Long Island's likely to see some snow from this. What about Atlanta? I think Atlanta's likely to see a tiny bit as well. I'm hoping that doesn't just translate into ice and sleet. Can you give me the amount of inches for North Alabama? I can't. I mean, you know, we'll take a look kind of at this. We want to wait for some of these new models to come out. It's not, I think this is unrealistic, 8 inches in a North Alabama. I'd say it's impossible, 4 to 5 inches in northern Alabama. The NAM is loading, and this is going to be so useful for our questions. This is going to be a great model run. Here we go. Wow. Jeez, it has the snow really starting to the north, huh? This time. Interesting. Why does it have a high pressure down here? Hello, that is not a high pressure, sir. This is a glitch in the map. That is not a high pressure. Ignore that. Ignore that. Let's pretend that doesn't exist, guys. Interesting how far north that has it going, but this still you have the troughing digging down behind it, so this is still going to translate into southern snow. Tennessee's in a great spot to see snow. West Coast to East Coast. Straight up. Sarah and T and B, I appreciate you guys. I'm thinking 6 inches into Knoxville, Tennessee. Am I right? I think that's on the high end of what you could see. But yeah, it's not impossible. Central Iowa go to get any snow soon. Feeling left out all winter. You've got this Clipper system that might drop some snow into you guys going into Thursday and Friday. So yeah, we'll have to see. But other than that, you might have to wait a little bit longer. IKEA Walker Bait, I appreciate you. How much snow for South Jersey? And I'm going chat to chat. How much snow for South Jersey down by the Ocean City? If the GFS is correct, like 6 to 7 inches. We have time. Guys, even if the Euro and GFS had a similar track. I mean, they're just hating each other. IKEA, Walker, Hannah, TNB, appreciate you guys. Asheville, North Carolina. I expect Asheville to get snow from the system no matter what it does. At least a couple accumulating inches, maybe more, maybe pushing 4 or 5. What about Philly? Yeah, I mean, Philly's going to see an inch or two guaranteed. We'll see if we get more or not. We'll see if we get more or not from it. Ocean City, Maryland. This could be a ton of snow for you guys. I mean, Maryland, the DMV is a great spot to be no matter what model wins here. Snow totals, that's a little bit far out to see for you guys. Snow totals in Dallas, it seems to be fizzling out. Yep, I've been saying this. I kept telling everyone when they were showing 14 inches here, I said, do not believe it. Don't 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 believe it. Looking forward to the GFS 00Z to see if it sticks with its look or intensifies. Yeah, it's been sticking with it. It's actually been de-intensifying. Yeah, this freezing rain and snow line keeps going up. I think, though, as this model, the North American model, continues to load, this is going to dig in behind and actually bring some snow on the back end. Long Island maximum and minimum snow amount. Maximum snow amount, a foot. Minimum snow amount, like 2 inches. Oh, Long Island. I was saying Jersey. Listen, that's tough because there's some models that do hold the coast, and that would be big snow for Long Island. That's tough. The range, because of where it is. And okay, guys, here's what you have to understand. Our model discrepancy is happening here. So you guys asking questions about the Mid-Atlantic is almost impossible to answer. Our two best global models are going like this. The GFS is going like this, which is huge snow, and the Euro is going like this, which is no snow. This is exactly what's frustrating me right here. Right here. Hopefully the freaking the 00Z NAM that's loading is still agreeing with the GFS like it's been, because then I'm going to start to lean this way with answers and not this way. So that's where the split's happening. That's where all the disagreement with the system is happening. And I've talked about why. We can get back into it. Wow. That snow's to the north. We've talked about why, and it has everything to do with our system to the north up here. Northwest. Georgia guy, appreciate you. Camden, thank you. It also to do with this system up here to the north. What we want to get more amplified snow down here through the south and up the coast is this secondary trough here to dig and help to negatively tilt our trough down to the south. If that happens, this is a big snowstorm. If we get the look from the Euro, where watch this up to the north, watch this piece of energy up here to the north skirt off to the east and avoid everyone. Look. And then flatten our storm like a pancake. This is no snow for the Mid-Atlantic and New England, and not a lot of snow for the Ohio Valley either. And, you know, usually as you get closer, you get agreement, and it's not been coming, and it's kind of crazy to see. The NAM is handling this kind of bad. Let me see. Let's go back to R12Z. Let me see. Ooh. 1 second, guys. There's our 12Z. Let's look at our 00Z. Up to 51. Let me compare these real quick. Let me compare how these are handling this, guys. 1 second. This is actually important. 50. Let's go here. Let's just do a straight up comparison like we do sometimes to see how it's handling it. Here we go. Here we go. Latest NAM. Here we go. Let's get into here. And let's go. Let's just see. Ready? Oh. New, old. New, old. New, uh-oh. Old. New, old. Old, new. Old, new. This doesn't look too good for people who want big snow on the NAM. We'll see, though, because you actually have a lot more energy through here, but you have your main secondary trough up to the north. Let's see how this handles it, though. Let us see. 1 second, guys. I mean, you can see we're still looking at snow down here in the south, but this might want to flatten off. So we'll watch it. 18Z Nam. How much snow will there be in Chattanooga, Tennessee? Listen, models really want to put somewhere between 3 to 6 inches. I would say 2 to 5 inches through the entire state. The actual amount is I mean, I could show you, a comparison between the Euro and GFS if you want. But you want to get into our HRRRs and NAM totals to really get a good estimate. Euro, you can kind of see. It's like 2 to 5. GFS, I think, actually has a similar outlook for you guys across the whole state. GFS is more bullish. That's because the GFS has the piece of energy up here dipping down and amplifying your trough. That's why the GFS is good for everyone. If you want to see snow. Not everyone wants to see snow, guys. So, I'm watching this load. I'm really watching this load. This does look like it may want to dig here. Interesting development with the NAM. Very interesting. Let's see. It's just me that can't hear the audio. Yeah, I think, Jeffrey, I think it's just you. How's it looking for Montreal this weekend? Honestly, that is a great question. I mean, you can see you're going to have this low up here interacting with our low moving through the states. Light snow through Montreal, probably. Stephanie, Puggy, Z, TMB, Ray, Janelle, IKEA. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Is it around 2 to 5 for Kentucky too? Yeah. As of the latest, what does the purple mean? 6 inches or more. Dark. Once you get to the dark purple into the pink, or the dark pink into the orange, dark purple into the orange, it's like a foot or more. Mo and Alejandro, appreciate you guys. Do you think it will go on? I think it will snow in Charlotte still. Yeah, I do. Let's see what our latest, guys. Let's see if this is any farther loaded. Okay. I want to check out what's going on with our velocity or our vorticity up here. Okay. Here's what needs to happen. If we can move the center low out here, and this can help to spin it up still. This is kind of starting to dig now, so we'll watch. We're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. Will DC get a good amount? I think DC's in a good area, no matter if the Euro or GFS is correct. Yes. I can't see it. Austin, Texas is going to be tough to get any snow. 00Z NAM times 00Z NAM sometimes is on drugs. You're right. That's why we have to look at different models, and that's why I really like the national blended models, which I'll show again in a second. Yeah, if you can't hear, scroll out and come back in. Yeah. Let's see here. North Carolina, it's still looking good for snow in North Carolina. Not gonna lie. Still looking good for snow in North Carolina. I don't think it's going to be as bullish like this. We'll just go and look at some snow totals. And so this is our national blend. This is going to be a super conservative model. You'll likely see higher snow totals. But this national blend is going to continue to update throughout the night, and we'll see. This is what is widely considered your best snow model, or your most conservative and accurate snow model, because it takes a bunch of forecasts from a bunch of different models, averages them all out, takes the mean, and spits it out. So a lot of times this is actually super conservative on snow totals, because it's also putting into that average models that show no snow in these areas, so it brings all the snow totals down. Ashton Brown, I appreciate the sub. Thank you. So, but I like the national blended models based on where it wants to put snow. Not on accumulation totals, but where it wants to put it. And you can kind of see it really still likes a lot of areas of, North Carolina, Northwestern, South Carolina, and then your northern, southern states down here. It's not loving. I mean, it still wants snow into Texas, Dallas, but it's not loving you guys as much. You can see what it wants to bring snow up into the Mid-Atlantic as well. Ohio Valley. When will Philly know for sure about Jersey and Philly? If you want to know for sure, you want to wait for the HRRR, which will tell you 48 hours out. And if this were what would be a Saturday morning into the afternoon type system, you'd really want to wait till Thursday morning to be really accurate, or at least get close to accuracy. Now, sometimes with these systems, when you have model consensus, the These models can be really accurate like now, like 4 or 5 days out. But with this one, we don't have consensus, which means they can't agree. And when they're not agreeing, I've been showing you why they're not agreeing. They're all treating the low pressure system down near the Gulf the same, which is, originating the snowstorm, but they're not treating its steering mechanism to the north the same. And that steering mechanism decides if this snowstorm is amplified or if it's flattened and where it moves. So they have no agreement on that. Sometimes they do this far out, but this time they don't. Stu and Heather Rhodes, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Can you show Dallas? Yeah. I'll go back and I'll show Texas on here again, since you guys are wondering. Now this is the national blend, so this isn't. I would increase what some of these snow totals say, but this is kind of where it thinks based on averaging out all our models, snow's gonna fall. In Texas, it's not impossible for this to shift still. It's getting closer to us not wanting to see a shift, but it's not impossible. Slightly south. We could still see that, but it probably wouldn't be too much. There's going to be a weird type of thing as the storm wraps where it might bring a little bit on the back end, but it's not going to be much. So, yeah. Here I know everyone's asking Pennsylvania. There you go. The totals are going to be low, but this is your national blend, what it thinks with all the models combined right now. But we'll have to see what this latest NAM's doing. These totals would actually be increased. But this is really weighing towards the GFS. The national blend is really weighing towards the GFS right now. Which is kind of what I've been weighing towards. Not super GFS, but more of a mix between that and the Euro. Let's look at our latest precip on here. Still showing a similar type pattern here. Let's see what our, let's go back here. But the problem with this is a very positively tilted trough. We want this to swing negatively tilted, and that is going to be hard for this to do. Still a chance. The Euro has this energy way out here to the east at this point, while the NAM doesn't. So, let me see. Let me go back here. Oops. There we go. Mac, are you still thinking 5 to 7 for middle of North Carolina mountains, or has it dropped a little? Yeah, I mean, I'll show you kind of when the national blend is telling you like this, that it thinks you could see up to 4 or 5 inches through these mountains. So we'll say 3 to 5 through this area. You can bet that it'd probably be a little bit more. But this is leaning towards the GFS, I can tell. But it's taking all the models and averaging them out. There actually is more model agreement towards the GFS outcome than the Euro, which is weird. Usually they lean more towards the Euro. Lauren and Tracy, I appreciate you guys. I fixed my YouTube tab was muted. Are they showing ice in Dallas-Fort Worth? We might start to see that show up with this snow line moving to the north. Is it going to stick in Georgia for Friday? It's calling for heavy snowstorm, 80%. In northern Georgia, is probably going to see accumulation, yes. I believe we will get some in far north. Yeah, we probably will. Could we expect snow in Antarctica? I saw a polar bear drinking a Coke once. Oh, Phil Molina. That's my friend, guys. He made my logo. Let's see here. Him and him is one. Let's see. Someone's saying scroll over Tennessee. Okay. Here you go. Ready? It doesn't even want to show me Tennessee. Here's what we'll do. We'll do the Ohio Valley. It doesn't show some states. It's really dumb. Here you go. There you go. This is a national blended model. These numbers are going to be conservative. Remember that. These are going to be conservative numbers. This is just a better guesstimate on where the snow is going to fall. This takes a bunch of different models, their best forecasts, averages them out, puts it out here. But in those averages, some of those models don't even want snow, so it takes down your total snow totals. Brandon, Jen, TFX, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. And thank you guys for anyone who's followed. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. We really don't need any more snow. Southwest Virginia. Yeah, you guys are almost likely to get it no matter what happens. Euro or GFS run. So I hate to tell you that, but All right, you know what? Let's get into a bunch of possibilities here really quick because everyone has very specific questions. Let's get into a bunch of possibilities. I'm gonna let you know everything that could still happen. Let me look at this latest look here. Interesting. Okay, interesting. This may be able to tilt. This is going neutral here. This is going into the neutral phase. This may be able to still tilt. Because this energy has kind of stopped and dug in. So that is very interesting. Old Soldier K and Quay and Tad Robinson. Okay, also, I'll just give you a guesstimate on the ice down here from the latest NAM. Let's go into our Fram. Freezing rain. Okay. Ooh, whoa. We're going to have to start talking about this seriously if this is what we're going to see. Nothing crazy down here. Not a great situation down there. Now, up towards northeast Texas, southern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, that's concerning. And around Georgia, that's concerning ice as well. Now, this would likely spread as the NAM loads more into Charlotte. This would cause, and there's a lot of trucking in this corridor too. This would be a big issue. That would be a big issue. Mountains of West Virginia, yeah, you would see more snow with this. Not a ton, though. Oh, my gosh. How bad will it be in northwest Arkansas? You could get some good snow. I mean, we can see this is our latest NAM that's loading right here. And it really likes Arkansas for some pretty good precip for some snow. So, here we go. Kind of has a lot of that snow originating central. I mean, yeah, you would get some okay accumulation. 2 to 5 inches possible, probably. Look at this. This really likes a lot of snow into Charlotte still. I don't know if I'm going to say a lot, but like 2 to 3 inches would be a lot for Charlotte from what they've seen lately. Still wants a little bit of snow into Atlanta. Tad Robinson, I appreciate you. Addison, thank you. Sandy, Dewan, Walker Bait. Stephanie, thank you guys. Thank you for the sub, Tad Robinson. Tad, or is it T. Ed Robinson, or is it Todd Robinson? I think it's Tad Robinson. Jen, I appreciate you. Is it true that Dallas is going to get 6 to 7 inches of snow? Carlos, all last live, we were looking at models that were showing like 14 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches of snow in Dallas, and I kept telling everyone, it's possible you guys get snow, but do not expect that type of snow. Because I kept saying we could see our sleet and rain line push north, and then suddenly you get no snow. And would you look at that? We woke up today, and now everyone in Dallas is worried they're not going to get snow because that rain and sleet line moved to the north. Wasn't hard for me to predict. Models always push things way too far to the south in the beginning. And I knew that snow line was going to creep back up as we got closer. It's just like clockwork. It always happens. Jen, Lauren, Devin, Black, Lindsay. Appreciate you guys. Anyways, this is still a good look. This is still a good look for the Carolinas. It still wants to put a little bit of snow into northern Alabama, Mississippi, potentially Atlanta. This could be a lot of freezing rain for Atlanta, though. This is interesting. This still looks to me like we may get a slight negative tilt moving off of the mid-Atlantic. Henry and Jen, thank you guys. Oh, wow. 2 hours. Let's see here. You guys are talking within each other over on YouTube. I live northeast. Okay, wait. Hold up. I need to see where there's a question. What to expect for Long Island? Give me what you would say. 1 to 2 inches right now is what I'd expect right now. Don't. That's not gospel though. Like I said, a lot of people up north look like they're going to get snow from this. We have a low pressure system up here, low pressure down here. Lots of, we have our lift and moisture mechanisms right here. And we have cold air in between it, so we know this is going to be snow. You can almost lock in this snow through here. But some areas, the snow won't even touch the ground. Light dusting for some areas, but I do think most areas are going to get snow on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a widespread 1 to 2 inches. Let's see here. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, I mean, you would expect a little bit. This is also going to pull in with this secondary trough up here, a little bit of lake effect right behind the system too. So Grand Rapids could see some decent totals actually as this moves out. Look at this. Okay. This is important. Watch what's happening here. Hold up. We have a completely neutral trough here. This is going to immediately start to tilt. What does it do? Let's take a look at our upper air dynamics. 500 millibar height vorticity. What we're looking at here, guys, if you look up here where it says 500 millibar, 99.9% of all the weather on planet Earth happens in the troposphere. Sometimes when you have big mesocyclones, they punch through the tropopause, which is the top of the troposphere, and you get a little bit of stratospheric weather. You can get some moisture into the stratosphere. You know, stratus clouds. But this is, we live at 1,000 millibars down here near the surface. That's our pressure. Up at the top of where all the weather happens, it's 100 millibars. So this is a look between the top of where all the weather happens and us on the ground, halfway up. And this is where a lot of the weather is determined by. This is where you've got your jet stream and a lot of cold and warm air interactions and a lot of crazy things happening. What we're looking at here is our relative vorticity, meaning where you see these darker reds, this is vorticity, which is typically associated with a low pressure. A low pressure system, which is basically when you have diverging winds so that the air on the surface can lift up into the atmosphere, is typically going to be associated with cyclonic motion or counterclockwise winds. So you can see on this vorticity map where our lows are, what's happening with them. And what you want is to see, you can actually literally see when we move this forward. Here's one low, and here's our second low right here. So if we went back to our map over here, just so you guys know, I know some people don't care, just so you guys understand how to read this. And then look, you can actually see it happening here. You can see it here too. There's our low. There's our low. So it's a little more complicated than that, but that's basically all it is. And this system up here, this secondary trough, which is bringing cold air, is digging and trying to help our main system down here tilt so that it can amplify. Once it begins to tilt, it's going to wrap in a lot more moisture. And warm air, which is going to help with that warm air cold air interaction, which helps with lift and helps intensify your low pressure, deepen your low pressure and intensify the storm. And this does look like this is almost a negative tilt right now as we're starting to push off the coast. So we can take a look. Is this almost done loading? I think we're finally done loading on the 00Z. Let's look at what the end of this run looks like. Yeah, you see how this low deepened down now to 996. Now this still gives us a chance on the latest NAM for this to kind of ride up the coast. This would probably stay too far off. This is very close to looking like the GFS. This looks nothing like the Euro. Look at the Euro. Look at the Euro. We have instead of a 996, we have a 1,003 millibar low with no snow up here and no tilt. Notice what's going on here. We have a neutral tilt. Notice what happens when we go back to our NAM. Once again, I've been telling you guys this. We're getting more agreement in the national blended models and in the NAM with the GFS. I always go with the Euro, but the Euro handles these snow systems from the south bad. Okay, look at the end of this run. Well, we can't really get all the way to the end. But this is going to be, yes we can. This is going to be, now compared to the Euro, okay, our Euro was flat like this. You can see this beginning to negatively tilt right here. So they're different. There's more model consensus around the GFS still, and you rarely say that in winter with snowstorms. Still a good look for the coastal mid-Atlantic and New England potentially. This would be a little bit weird. I think that, if we saw this exact thing happen, I'm going to get back to answering questions. If we saw this exact pattern happen, this may hang off the coast a little bit, but we may see this pull up the coast. It's going to be tough, but the NAM, which is a good short-range model, pretty good short-range model, still wants some good snow basically to push all through this corridor here. So we'll watch it. Interesting. And, really quickly before I get back to questions, here's snow total updates from the NAM. From our latest run of the NAM. Charlotte a couple inches. Atlanta's right on the border of, 2 to 3 inches or nothing. Tennessee, 5 to 7 inches on the NAM. Kentucky, 3 to 5. You can see Ohio, Indiana want an okay amount of snow. Arkansas wants a decent amount of snow everywhere but south and eastern Arkansas. South Carolina to the north and west. And then as we get into Virginia, and remember, this model ends up here. It's not saying no snow for up here. The model just hasn't gotten there yet. It's a short-range model. So we'll see this on the 12Z tomorrow. We'll see this fill in what we could get. Yep. And we'll see what the GFS shows. Latest icon is loading. But this is going to be our best look. That's our best look right now. I still think we're going to see more snow through here. I still think we might see more snow through here, but I've been telling you that those snow totals were probably going to go down. Let's see here. Devin, Lindsay, Laurent, Ed Robertson, Henry, Jen. I already saw that. Wait. Bird Explorers. Jen, Carla, Lee, your mom. Appreciate the gifts, guys. Connor said he's expecting 1 to 2 inches, but it could change. Yes, Phil. Thank you. Almost 300 subs. Oh, sweet. What's up? What's up, Jersey Railroader? Yeah, over on YouTube. Yeah. Yo, YouTube is hard to grow on. So I'm multi-streaming, putting in the effort over there. It's tough. Christine, I appreciate you. Grand Rapids, Michigan. I mean, yeah, you can see what the NAM wants to do with Grand Rapids, bring anywhere between 2 to 5 inches. But this is not the end of the run. As this storm moves off the coast, this is gonna pull in more air behind it, and I think you could see a 4 to 7 type inch thing happen in Grand Rapids here late into the weekend. Still up in the air though with Grand Rapids, Michigan. How much for Raleigh, North Carolina? Woo! Based on the latest NAM, you could see 0 or 5 inches. Look at this snow line here. Now, I don't think the snow line is going to be this tight. I'd actually expect a little bit more of a dusting across North Carolina like this down here. So let's see here. So North Georgia is only getting freezing rain. I mean, no, are you looking at this? This is potentially, okay, take this with a grain of salt, 3 to 5 inches of snow through North Georgia. Now, some models are going to bring this farther south. Guys, I guarantee you that some models are still going to bring this farther south. Some models are going to bring this farther out east. Geez, 4 to 5 inches for Charlotte. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not impossible. Not impossible. That wants to bring 4 inches into Charlotte, 5 inches into Statesville on the latest NAM. And again, listen. If the Euro that loads in tonight doesn't agree with the GFS, I'm throwing my hands in the air. And I don't know what to say. You usually don't see them take that long to come to an agreement. The closer the storm gets, you can actually see where these systems are setting up. So, Devin, Zachary, having fun. Becky, Jasmine, Dewan, appreciate you guys. Will Philly get snow? Yeah, it will get snow. But how much? We need to wait a little bit longer. My best guess would be 1 to 2 inches. But on the high end, we could see 6 to 7 if we get a more GFS look. I want to go over again ice because this could be an issue. This could be a big issue. This is our latest ice outlook from the NAM. This would be, and remember, very cold air on the back end of this. This quarter right here, a lot of traveling happens in there. A lot of trucking. You've got Charlotte, Atlanta, Tuscaloosa, Dallas out here. I know I'm missing some major cities in there. So we have to watch how this progresses. But if you live anywhere here, you have to understand it's probably best to get a little bit of your power can get knocked out. Cold temperatures move in. Some batteries, bottled water, some extra food in case your power goes out that you can eat without a microwave. Emergency kit, and if your house runs on fuel, get a little extra fuel. Just telling you right now, this can be bad. We had a lot of power knocked out because of this last winter storm up through this region, and lots of people still without power. And your pipes can freeze, your pipes can burst. If you're stuck with no water, no power, a bunch of bad stuff happens. So it's best to take it seriously. What's the worst that happens? You have some extra water and food in your house, some extra batteries. Whoa. Mezzo. LR, JDJ, and I. Mezza Matt. Gifting the subs. Shout out to Mezzomat. Nancy and Zach. I appreciate you guys. Guys, if you don't know Mezzomat, MESOMATT, does the same thing I do. Really smart dude. Streams. This is basically his full-time job. It is his full-time job. Post videos every day, streams every day. Show him some love. MESOMATT. I've been kind of become a part of his group. He's got a great thing going. He helps me get mods in my chats. assist with the chats. It's really awesome. We're going to set up some multi-streams down the road here coming up, so that a couple or a few times a week we'll do dual streams, because he has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge. He always gets on after me. Yeah. Not when we do our dual streams, though. We'll set it up. GPT, I appreciate the sub. Chicago, any sizable amount? No, a light accumulation is expected, though, in Chicago, I think, from this system. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you did get some snow like that. This isn't too far out, 66 hours out. Hoping for South Carolina snow. I think it's likely in northwestern South Carolina. We'll see if it gets down into central. That's also possible. Jojo, Laddie, and Kayla, I appreciate you guys. When should we know better between the GFS and Euro? Listen, we should have known already. To still have no consensus. We're 72 hours out, and they're so opposite. They're not opposite in where the low travels through this region. They're opposite in, you know, a hooking storm or a flattened out storm. This piece of energy that we've been talking about, this low pressure, that's going to be our steering mechanism for our southern storm. And our tilting mechanism, they couldn't be more opposite on how to handle this. Just to show you guys what's so frustrating about this. 1 second. Hold up. The person. Yeah. Northeast with all those. We are going to block. Thank you. So here's what's going on with the GFS. So 500 millibar vorticity. Here's the biggest difference. And it's a pretty big difference. Let's get into our 18Z of the GFS. And we'll go to about 84. And then we'll go back here and we'll go into our Euro 18Z. We'll go to the same map here just so you guys know why we're having a difficult time here. Where was I? Like 84. Here we go. Here's our GFS. Okay. Here's our Euro. Now, look at the difference here. Look at that northern system. GFS, Euro. GFS, Euro. GFS, Euro. The GFS happens, it's helping to tilt this trough down here, and it's helping to amplify our system along the coast. If this happens, this is just flattening out our system down here. We're not really getting much of an event to the north. And, you know, we really, really hoped that they'd have agreement by now, and they're just not agreeing. So that's why, you know, we'll stick with our NAM, our North American Model Short Range. I like it. I like it. We'll go and look at some more charts here in a second. Miss Cherry, Maria, Tyler, Jill Smith, Danielle, Roger. I appreciate you guys. New Jersey amount up in the air, but New Jersey looks likely to get snow from this system. Greenville, South Carolina, it's going to be close. Roughly how much snow for West Virginia? I'm not going to give guesstimations up here. Not really going to give guesstimations. I don't want to give too many guesstimations up here when we're still finalizing what's going to be down here. You know, I'll tell you that you're not likely to miss out on snow. Chances for it to pull up the coast. There's been no model run it's been kind of a 50-50 this entire time. It's looking less and less likely that it'll really pull up the coast like this, like a classic nor'easter, but pull up maybe across the mid-Atlantic is probably the most likely scenario still. Should I go skiing in Beach Mountain on Saturday? Yeah, I think you guys will have some good fresh snow. Yeah. East Tennessee, yeah, all of Tennessee looks like it's going to get accumulation from this. No matter which model ends up being correct. Yeah. Atlanta's right on the snow line. Atlanta could end up with a bunch of ice and sleet. That's what I've been worrying about. I was saying the same thing about Dallas, Texas before, when everyone was telling me they were going to get 14 inches of snow. And I laughed. I still think it's not impossible for Dallas to get some accumulating snow. Still think it's possible. But it's that rain sleet line is really pushing north. Gent X Honeybee, I appreciate you. Thank you. GFS better pull through. I would love it to. Central Alabama, latest update for potential winter storm. Here's our latest update from the NAM on potential accumulation totals. Let me see if I can get you a better look on Weatherbell here, guys. Let's go in here. You know what? Here, let's look at some maps because a lot of people are asking about specific areas. What's the potential? I'm going to give you a map that's going to answer everyone's questions right now. We'll look into here. We will go. Let's go. First off, let's go to the South Central. Okay, this is our national blended models. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go. I don't really love the Euro on this, but we'll go Euro Ensemble. Probabilities winter. Here is the latest, okay? Take this with a grain of salt though. Here's the latest Euro. What are we looking at right here? What we are looking at right here is the Euros, which everyone loves the Euro with snowstorms, wants to trust it. Is the Euro's probability of you seeing 1+ inches of snow. So, if you're in the red, the Euro thinks you're going to see, it gives you a 90 to 100% chance of seeing an inch of snow. If you're anywhere between the yellow and the red, it gives you a 50 to 90% chance that you're going to see an inch of accumulation. So, I mean, this is just a really big area. Now, if you guys want to get more interesting, who could see 3 inches or more? Here's the latest updated Euro Ensemble of your chances of seeing 3 inches or more of snow. That's 50 to 100%. So this would be 90 to 100. And the yellow up to that red would be 50 to 90% chance. This is like a high chance for Dallas to see 3+ inches. I think the Euro's a little on crack, but we all know it's a pretty good snow model. And now look at this. This is what's interesting. The Euro still likes, look how far south the Euro brings this line for the potential to see more than 3 inches of snow through those states, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Still gives you a chance through a lot of North Carolina. Your chances of seeing 3 or more inches of snow in Tennessee are through the roof, and in Arkansas. Based on our latest Euro Ensemble, let's make sure we show that. What's our GFS think? Our GFS is even more bullish, brings farther south. We can go and you can see what it's doing up here in the Ohio Valley and West Virginia. And then if we go down here to the South Central, look, the GFS does not like Texas. The GFS does not like Texas, guys. But it likes it for an inch, I think. See it? For an inch. So this is an interesting way to look at it. Everyone asks me probabilities or percentages, and I don't want to give them. But luckily for me, Weatherbell will tell you what it thinks. And we're looking at ensemble percentages, which is much better than just a flat GFS or Euro one run. This isn't one run of the GFS. This is like 30 runs of the GFS. Just to show you, here's panels. Let me show you something. Here's all of our different runs from the GFS. Can you guys see these? This is all of our different runs from the GFS. Some put no snow, almost no snow into Texas. Some put 3 to 4 inches into Dallas. Some put 6 inches into Dallas. Some put 1.5 feet into Arkansas. There's a bunch of different outcomes. And what does our ensemble that we were looking at do? If we just go straight to the GFS ensemble, it's going to average out all of these, average out every single model that it has, and give you what should be your best potential solution. So let's go 1 second here. So if I were to go into, we'll go GFS ensemble, surface, winter, we'll look 4 days. Here we go. That's the ensemble from the GFS. Still like snow into a lot of areas of Texas there. I wouldn't pay attention to the super light grays, but I'd pay attention to this right in here. So that's what's going on with that. Let me get back to chat, start answering some questions. Sorry, guys. I think I need a Red Bull. I'm getting tired. Hold up. It was a long day at work. It's going to be a long one tomorrow, too. Let me get this back over here. Yeah, Charlotte still looks good for accumulation. I've been talking about Charlotte a lot this stream. Ty and Nightingale. I mean, Charlotte looks still good for 1 to 3. The NAM wants like 4 to 5 inches into Charlotte. I think that's bullish. The Euro wants a ½ inch. I think that's too little. Let's see here. Look at Icon. Yeah, we'll look at Icon in a second. Sorry, YouTube. I'm not leaving you hanging. Yeah, I appreciate that, Phil. Yeah, Phil Molina that's my good friend there. I literally trust you more than my local weather channel, Jotty. I appreciate that. Mooresville, North Carolina. The NAM likes 5 inches into Mooresville. I don't know about that, but that is the latest update from the North American model. I would say 2 to 3 if you're on the lucky side. Yeah. Whoa. Brandon, Greg, giggity. Appreciate you guys. Let me look up here. Is more snow coming to Indiana? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. We do expect a little bit of snow to push through Indiana. Yes, we do. You're going to have kind of these two systems. This is a weak low. This is a better low. A lot of moisture feeding off the Gulf. And that's flowing in behind it from the Pacific. But you typically can get a snow boundary set up in between two systems like this that drop light snow over a region, which looks to be this region right here. And heavier snow down and around the system, obviously. So, we'll look at our latest icon. Our latest icon is loading in. This could be interesting. The icon kind of sucks, so I don't really put much stock into it. Icon still likes snow into... wow, see, the icon keeps the snow very, very far south. Still like some snow into Texas. I can already tell this looks to be a system that wants to tilt more up, that this is going to be agreeing more with the GFS right off the initial. Here's our secondary trough that's going to want to dig. So, interesting how that, we'll see how that develops. Right now, I think this is a good look from because this is our latest update at short range right here. NAM. See how that moves, guys? Not an unrealistic solution here. What about New York City? I'd expect New York City to get a little snow. A trace to 2 inches right now would be the best guess. We'll have to wait and see how this develops. I wouldn't expect you to see no snow from the system. Does it differentiate between snow and ice? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All that pink right there is ice. And when you see purple, that's sleet mixing. That's mixing snow and rain. Where you see the red right there, that's ice. And we've been watching that. There could be a lot of ice between the corridor between Dallas and Charlotte moving through northern Alabama. Central Alabama, central Mississippi, central Georgia. Yeah. So that's a little bit concerning. I've been watching it every night since the last storm. Sup, buggin'. I love the name. I appreciate that. How much snow could Boston get? It's not looking like a big snowstorm for Boston unless we continue to see these models trend towards the GFS. I can tell you right now, this latest NAM is trending more like the GFS. This could tuck the coast. If that's the case, Boston could see 6 inches or more. Tomorrow, our NAM's going to be loaded up through the Northeast. And tomorrow, we're going to get a look at our HRRR down in Texas. So our confidence down here in our snow totals is going to go through the roof tomorrow. And then our confidence up here is not going to go through the roof, but it's going to increase. Brit, Jersey Jeff, I appreciate you guys. Let me see something here. There we go. Let's see here. Can we see the NAM again? Yeah, that's what I've been showing. That's what I've been showing. This is our latest 00Z NAM, or 00Z NAM. How much do you think this storm intensifies once it hits Tennessee, North Carolina, East Virginia? That's the big question, isn't it? That's the big question. This is where the storm gets very confusing. Does it go off the coast? Does it flatten off the coast? Or does it negatively tilt up the coast? Major difference depending on what happens there. Snow through this corridor is all but certain through this corridor here. How does this... We get a little bit more back into Texas. Snow through this corridor is all but certain. Up in the Northeast, snow totals are really up in the air. Lee and Cameron, I appreciate you. Will Detroit see snow? Yeah, you'll see some snow from this. Not looking like much, but probably some accumulation. Everyone wear a coat. Yeah. I appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you, guys. And the subs on YouTube. I haven't been looking on there. Let me see here. Do you think New Jersey could still get 8+ inches? Yeah, it's possible, Love Sam. You could still see a big mid-Atlantic storm from this. Yes. Yes. That's still in the cards. Landon, I appreciate you. How is upstate South Carolina? Upstate South Carolina still wants to get snow here. I don't see upstate South Carolina or Appalachia dodging snow from this storm. But, this is going to be, for up here. I'll show you our latest snow totals down here in the southeast from the NAM. The NAM's doing some interesting stuff. Some models do want the snow farther to the south, but the Icon, I think, wants to take this line and almost go like this. So take all this snow and move it down. These are very close calls. If you're someone who wants to see snow, you want to be in the middle of this so the model shifts don't affect you. Model shifts will affect everyone who's close to this snow line. You know what I mean? It's a lot of anxiety for people who are really close to this snow line because you know how close it is, and a lot of you haven't seen snow in a while. I know. Ray King and Betty Boop. Let me see here. The Icon wants to tilt. Yeah, that's what I said it was looking like it was going to do. Let's go back and check it out. Thanks for letting me know. New Icon model loading in, guys. Okay, let's see. We're deepening slightly from 1,007 to 1,005. Let me go into upper air dynamics really quickly and see what's going on with our latest Icon run. Yeah, this may begin to tilt here. Yeah, let's see how this loads in. I think it's still not looking too bad. It's not looking like the Euro. I think this is going to probably come up like this and still want a corridor of snow through here. Let's see. Will Texas get any? Specifically Houston. I keep getting asked about Houston, and I'll just be honest. We haven't seen a chance for Houston to get snow with the system in over a week. There was early runs. I remember talking about a week ago where I saw a model bringing snow down here, and I was like, it's possible, but I wouldn't bet the over on that. Yeah, Houston, it's except for a couple days, it's always kind of been a rain system, unfortunately, for Houston. There's some interesting things happening down the line on the Euro and GFS that want to actually, both of them want to bring another snow system back into Texas a week and a half out. Very far out, but it's weird. Not weird, actually, but they both see another system. And that's because there's a lot of confidence in this region through here remaining very below average through the next 2 weeks of January, which historically on average are our coldest 2 weeks of the year. So with that much cold air that wants to sit around down in the south, you're bound to get more moisture flow into this region. So the Euro and the GFS think there's going to be another Texas snowstorm and another southern snowstorm chance. The GFS actually wants snow like this. Now that's far out, but with our temperature staying below average through the second, third week of January, we can't rule out another second or third opportunity. With this, we had this type of pattern in 2021 when it snowed on 4 separate occasions in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was only 4 years ago. It snowed every single weekend in Charlotte. The first 3 weekends, it was actually a much bigger snow, but yeah, this kind of pattern. So let me really quickly go back to the Icon, and then I'll get back to answering questions. I just want to see, did it fully load our 00Z? No, it's on 84. Oh yeah, you can see it starting to come up here. So, you saw it, went from 1,007 to 1,005, and then suddenly we're at 1,000. So this system is rapidly starting to deepen as it gets off the coast. This would make you assume that we're negatively tilting, because when your low pressure starts to bomb out, you're getting a tilt in your system. But so we'll see, does this really wrap up, or does it come off a little bit off the coast like this? But yeah, still some more agreement with the GFS on the Icon, I think, here as well. I'm not surprised to see that. Like I said, I usually tilt towards the Euro, but I think the Euro's been kind of handling this wrong. So it's around 12:30 and finishes at about 1:30. Yes, for the Euro. Yes. Southern Virginia looks like it's going to get snow regardless of the model on this one. Yep. Yogi, appreciate that. What will snow be looking like for North Kentucky, Cincy? Hey, you know, my best guess would be like 2 to 5 inches is possible. Kim Burr with the Galaxy. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you. You're always in here. Thank you so much. Kimber with the Galaxy. Oh my God. Thanks, Kimber. Melissa. I appreciate you guys. Key. Betty Boop. Thank you guys. Thank you to anyone who's followed too. I appreciate you guys. Or subbed or just being in here engaging with the chat, guys. This has been a crazy week for me. It's been awesome. And I'm really glad you guys gave me the opportunity to do this. Always bet the over, Phil says. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, in weather, you always bet the under. Does the Canadian still agree with the GFS? The Canadian sucks, but we'll look at the Canadian 00Z when it comes out. Yeah, the Canadian, no, actually, well, what does the Canadian do? I almost forget because I never look at it. Yeah, the Canadian still sides more with the GFS. Yep. That's why our national blended models is taking the GFS's side, because more of the models agree with the GFS. That's why it is taking the GFS's side. Caitlin, Addison, Melissa, Anders, Acorns, Twitch. Appreciate you guys. Do you expect there to be some model consensus by tomorrow? I mean, there's already model consensus between every model but the Euro. That's the problem. So it's yeah, I mean, you would assume that we'd by the latest have it tomorrow. I mean, 48 hours out. If the Euro still drastically disagreed with how to handle that northern piece of energy, it'd be very shocking. I'm shocked it hasn't started to agree with the GFS yet. Not shocked, but I thought it would. How much snow is it looking like for central Kentucky? You know, at guesstimates right now are somewhere between 2 to 4, I would say. What time does the new GFS model come out? It'll start coming out at about 10:30. Soon. It'll start to load soon. That'll be good to look at. Yep. Toledo, Ohio. You know, Ohio could see a dusting to 2 inches from this thing. Could see more. Could see more. We'll see. You've got these 2 low pressure systems that are going to drop a lot of snow in between them. Caitlin, MHO. I appreciate you, Little Star, Melissa, and Chris. So we're going to get a band of snow between these. So you're not expecting a major snowstorm anywhere in these areas, but a little bit of accumulating snow is probably going to happen for most of you guys. Yeah, Iowa, you have a clipper system that you got to worry about going into Sunday, Monday. I think you could get a little bit of snow from this system right here. Again, not a major snowstorm, but a little bit of accumulation is definitely possible. Philly. Yep. Best estimate for Philly right now is 1 to 3, and I'm only saying that because we have to account for the possibility of the Euro putting no snow into Philly. But we're leaning a little bit more towards GFS icon type outcome, which might be 2 to 4 or 3 to 5 into Philly. Now, the high end, if we really do get a bunch of negative tilt in the system, is like through the roof for Philly in New Jersey, but we're not going to entertain that until we have that consensus. Melissa, Chris, I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. I don't know where Meridian, Mississippi is, but to get snow, you're going to want to be pretty far to the north. I'll show you right here. We'll jump down here really quickly for you. I mean, I think, sorry, this is, here you go. NAM shifted north. I think the NAM's a little too far north here. I think we might actually see this line shift a little bit to the south like this. It's really a northern system for these states down here. Definitely a northern system for those states. There's some models that still, like the Icon, still want to bring that snow even farther to the south. This is a crazy look right here, guys. Crazy band setting up and down the eastern seaboard, or headed towards the eastern seaboard. Are you going to cover new Euro model tonight when it comes out? If this were Friday, Saturday, if this were Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I would. I go into the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday usually, and so these days I got to get up early, drive an hour. I'm pretty close to Philly, but 20 miles from Philly is about an hour. So Yeah, I usually am only up till about 11:30 midnight on these nights, but on the weekends I stream much longer, and usually twice. Yeah, yeah, but like sometimes Thursday through Sunday, I'll stay up for it. I leave New Orleans Friday. Should I be concerned? Um, you could have a little bit of weather in that area. Let me see. I leave for New Orleans Friday. Yeah, I mean there could be some delays if you're flying. How reliable is the NAM with winter weather? Within 48 hours, very reliable. We're trusting it 84 hours out right now. It's not as reliable, but it's still a short range model. And the accuracy on your short range models, once you get into the short range, tends to start to eclipse your globals. Vitamins, I appreciate you. Long Island, yeah, I've answered that like 80 times. Sorry if I haven't answered it. Answered someone spamming it. 1 to 2 is expected right now, but if we do get this thing tilting, it could be a much heavier snow for Long Island. Hey, how's Binghamton, New York for this next storm? Again, yeah. I mean, upstate New York, you'd expect a few inches, 1 to 3. If you were to go with this NAM, the euro would completely ruin any of your totals up here. The euro would skirt off and be flattened by this northern piece of energy. So let's go look at our latest icon. So our latest icon does tilt, so it's weird because it's actually agreeing with this trough, negatively tilting like the GFS, but it keeps it just offshore. So if this were to stay, maybe move a little bit, 100 miles to the west, 50, 100 miles to the west, this would be snow through this corridor. So it's the icon. We don't really put much stock into the icon. I say that all the time, icon or Canadian. If they're in consensus, it's a good look because then obviously they're all seeing the same thing. But the storm shouldn't be causing emergency weather conditions in Cincy, right? No, it shouldn't. It should not. Do you think it will hit before I have school? I don't know when you have school. Why don't you talk about how much Arkansas could get? I have talked about how much Arkansas could get probably 20 different times. Guys, you have to understand, some people, and I don't want to be mean or anything, but some people come in the stream and they're like mad that I'm not answering a certain question. Like I'm getting questions about literally like 30 states and then like hundreds of different cities in the states and like multiple different models and outcomes. And so, and I also have 2 chats going and I'm trying to answer as quick as I can and I'm one person. So I promise you, I've gone over every state and then I have to go back over through them. But that's why a lot of times, guys, I show. That's why like every 5 to 10 minutes, I like to show something like this, where like you guys know where you live. I don't know where you live, but this is your light blues are an inch or 2. Your dark blues are 3 to 5 inches. You into your pinks, this is 6 inches. Your dark pinks and oranges are a foot or more. Just to clarify that. We'll go back here just because people get upset that I don't answer their specific questions. So I try to show a bigger map to answer everyone's questions. So, this is why I like to show the national blended models. Here we go. And we'll just zoom out. But then people will still say I didn't. It's not ever. 99% of chat is very kind and awesome. Some people get very, very upset. So we'll go back here to the United States. This is our national blend of models here. Thanks for what you do. I see my location on the map. Yeah. Well, I still do try to do individual locations. So national blend of models. This is our latest update. This is our 00Z. So, this isn't now a lot of these snow totals are going to be actually higher than you see here. This is taking into account all the best forecasts from all your models and averaging them out. So this is best to look at, like I've said, through my stream of where snow could fall, but not really like what your snow totals are going to be because your totals are probably going to be higher. But that's kind of our look right there of how much you could see. I would say in the dark grays, you could expect maybe 1 to 3 inches. I would say in the light blues, you can maybe even expect more. 3 to 6 or more. In your darkest blues and pinks, maybe even more than that, 6+ inches. So, interesting to look at this. It's good. This snow is going to cover a lot of areas. So, but the problem is, especially for people up in the Mid-Atlantic, New England, This is where the models really start to disagree up in this region, and there's one outcome that could erase all your snow up here, and that's the euro, although it doesn't look likely. Poppy, 2-month member, I appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out Poppy. Leanne, I appreciate that. Yoga Pants, Matthew, thank you guys. What's going on, Gracie? Thank you, Gracie. It's tough. I love having tons of people in here, and it's awesome. There's a 0% chance I could answer everyone's questions. It's a little stressful sometimes because I want to answer everyone's questions. That's why I did a sub only live on my TikTok before this, and I'm going to do one after, because at least in my sub only lives I can answer most of the questions, because it's sub only chat. Let's see. How much snow for Maryland? Maryland's in a great spot no matter what happens. To see anywhere, we'll have to put a guesstimate anywhere between 2 to 6 inches. All the models like snow in Maryland. Maryland's a pretty good spot. Are we gonna see, what do we have on our latest? Let's go to our latest NAM 12K, and let's take a look at how it's handling this. And we're going to go region by region with the latest NAM real quick. Again, Texas, I think you may actually get more snow back here into Dallas-Fort Worth. So, because there's more model consensus towards that. NAM's the only one who really wants to erase snow there. But anyways, here's South Central. So you guys know where you live. I would say, though, the NAM's the only one really erasing snow here. So I actually think the NAM could be incorrect with this type of solution, and we'll probably see a little bit of snow back here. What's the difference between models, especially American versus European? The American model is really good in the subtropics and tropics. That's why we look at it a lot during hurricane season. But why a lot of people like the model with this snowstorm is originating down near the subtropics and moving its way up. The GFS handles snowstorms that kind of scoot up this direction better than the Euro. Most other ones, the Euro handles good. But you can kind of see this from the latest NAM, and then you can see this as we move to the southeast. Now, the latest NAM wants to be pretty bullish on snow in Charlotte, and then kind of up towards Raleigh. It wants to put like 8 inches up into like Boone, North Carolina, almost 8 inches down into like Asheville. A lot of snow into Tennessee, a decent amount of snow into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. We're talking 3 to 6 inches into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia. Really likes all across Arkansas. A decent snow blanket through Missouri, an okay one through Illinois, and then Indiana and Ohio. I mean, it does want to put like 5 inches into Ohio, widespread, and then West Virginia. Now, I know a bunch of you are thinking, what's going on up here though in the Mid-Atlantic? The NAM it only goes out 84 hours, so it actually hasn't gotten to the point where it can see what's going to happen here. So this isn't it saying you're going to get no snow. It's literally only loaded to like this point right here. So that's all that's happening up there. But we like this model because once you get into short range models, you can start to see things a lot better. But now if anyone comes in here and says, why haven't you talked about my city? You can see where you live here. Okay. I'm still going to answer questions on individual places, but that's why I do this every now and then through the stream so that you're able to see that. Julia, Terry, I appreciate you guys. What model are you leaning towards? So the model consensus is towards the GFS. There's probably going to be a split between the GFS and Euro. It is not going to flatten off. I don't think the Mid-Atlantic or the DMV is going to see zero snow like the Euro thinks. I don't think we're going to see a monster nor'easter like the GFS thinks. I think we're going to see a blend. Typically, you would always lean completely towards the Euro, but the national blend of models is leaning towards it, which is our best model because it averages all the models together, is leaning towards the GFS, and that is because the GFS handles these type of systems that move up like this from the south down there from the subtropics better. So it's a slight edge towards the GFS, a slight edge. This is normal weather around this time. Not for some areas down here. I mean, I wouldn't say that's normal Arkansas weather around this time. I wouldn't say, 4 to 6 inches between Charlotte to. They haven't seen this type of snow in 4 years. Now Charlotte does average 4 to 6 inches a year, but lately, they haven't gotten any snow on the ground. They haven't got any snow on the ground. Charlotte in like 3 years. Atlanta hasn't seen any accumulating snow in 8 years. So to call it normal, on a macro level, on a climate level, actually, yeah, this stuff should be happening more. We're in a snow drought in certain areas here, which will correct itself. We've been in bigger snow droughts than this. It's normal to see sometimes a decade snow drought in regions, and then the next decade flips, and you get more snow than average. So like areas in the Alps and in your mountains out there in Italy, the Pyrenees, and in coastal Japan, they are way above their averages in snow, but they were in a drought before the last kind of few years. So you see flips happen. So I would expect, your average snow in Charlotte over the last 120 years is 6 inches. And even though we've gotten very little snow in Charlotte over the last 3 years, typically over a large period of time, that will adjust because whether it's this year or next, you'll get a big snowstorm that drops like a foot and it adjusts your averages. It's big numbers always kind of come back together. Also people worry. I put a video out. People worry about the earth warming. Regardless of if you guys believe in climate change or global warming or not, regardless of that, the earth is warming. The earth would be warming if there were no humans on it because we're in an interglacial period. Technically still in an ice age. If there's ice on the planet, we're in an ice age, but we're in an interglacial period. So the earth is warming, the polar ice caps melt, the oceans raise, that then we slowly go into another major ice age, and the pattern repeats itself. So the earth is warming right now at an extremely slow pace. I mean, the earth has warmed over the last 200 years by about 2 degrees. So people are like, oh, we're not going to see any more snow down here in the south. Your snow line shifts very, very little with a 2 degree Fahrenheit shift in temperature. But what does increase is you get on a large scale a lot more evaporation from your big lakes and your oceans, putting a lot more energy up into the atmosphere, a lot more moisture into the atmosphere, giving you the ability to see much bigger snowstorms, which is happening in parts of the Alps, the Pyrenees, parts of Japan, and some other areas around the world that are actually lake effect is really feeling it. Lake effect numbers are way up over our, in the 21st century. So, yeah, your snow is not going to disappear. We have some areas in snow droughts, but you guys will be okay. The snow will return. Your snow line hasn't shifted that much by a 2 degree Fahrenheit change in the last 200 years. Let's see. There's my rant of the night. No more. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter your belief. I don't even want to talk about that type of stuff. The global warming, climate change is also political at this point. I don't really even. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if we weren't, whether we're here or not, the Earth is in a warming pattern. It just warms very slowly. It's normal. It's normal. That's why we've had 7 major ice ages before humans were alive. The ice ages are actually caused by the warming of the Earth until once all your ice caps melt. Let's see. What's Fort Wayne, Indiana looking like for snow? Where's Fort Wayne, Indiana exactly? Let's go in here. Here's Indiana. There's your answer. Based on our latest NAM. Which is leaning more towards a GFS pattern. So I tell you right now, the Euro is correct. It would screw you guys. I think you'd get like a dusting to a ½ inch. So if I'd be, God, if the Euro comes out and still has a complete disagreement with all other 5 models, man, someone take the Euro home. It's drunk. That's what I would say. Andy, I appreciate you. Is the Earth actually flat? Asking for a friend. If the Earth were flat, we would not have weather. Weather would be impossible. Why is that? The Coriolis effect, which is caused by a spinning ball, is what causes all of our weather. It's what causes dry and moist air boundaries and warm and cold air to run into each other. When you spin and you're on a ball, you have winds that are going the way that shoots off. That's what causes our jet streams. That's what causes cold air to sink down into the mid latitudes. Warm air to rise up from the tropics is a Coriolis effect that can only be basically caused by a spinning globe, by a spinning ball. If the Earth were flat, we would not have moving masses of air. We would not have moving temperature masses. They would be stationary. And that means we would not have lift. We would not have any mechanism to get moisture into the atmosphere. If the Earth was flat, we would have no weather. It would be sunny all the time. Clouds wouldn't exist. So, but whatever. You can believe whatever you want. Anyways, if we have any flat earthers in here, if you've ever seen it rain, that disproves flat Earth. There's literally nowhere. There's no way for moisture to get into the atmosphere if the Earth is flat. I mean, I guess flat earthers have an answer for everything, though. They probably have an answer for that. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Their theories are actually kind of intelligent, but I just think it's crazy. But I'm sure they do have an answer for that. Let's see. I'm convinced it's around. You may have answered already, but do you think the snow line will shift farther south in East Texas? I think the NAM's. I don't think the NAM is handling Texas correctly. I think there'll be a little bit more snow into Texas than the NAM thinks, which is this latest model. Yeah, Dallas is tough. You got models that will still want to put 5 inches in there, and models that want to put all rain, which is weird because you guys are the closest to this event happening. I mean, you guys are not very far out from this event happening. So, but your national blend, which is probably most important for you guys, does still put snow into Dallas. Very light snow, maybe 1 to 3 inches. So this would start, someone asked what day. This would start Thursday afternoonish down here. Okay, Thursday, moving through Friday, then Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday. That's your time. So this would be Thursday. Here, wait. So this would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's your time frame there. So do we have the GFS loading? We're going to have the new GFS loading here very, very soon, guys. We will be having the new GFS loading here very, very, very soon. Can we see both models? Here's your latest NAM. Okay. Lots of snow through Arkansas, northern Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, parts of South Carolina. Charlotte gets good snow. Virginia, Illinois gets a little. Indiana, Ohio, pretty good. The DMV, Pennsylvania, and then this would be okay snow in New York City. Now, our Euro actually likes more snow into Dallas, a little bit more snow into Dallas. But watch what it does to all the snow up north. It just, that snow, that light of blue isn't even, most of it's not even hitting the ground. That'd be like literally less than an inch for everyone. And it fizzles out. And then you have our GFS, which does still want that negatively tilted trough. This would be big, big snow farther down into Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, farther down into South Carolina. Still big snow in heavier totals into Tennessee, potentially Charlotte, and then this would move up the coast and potentially drop a ton of snow into the DMV, New Jersey, and potentially up towards Long Island. So that's what we're working with right now. Sandy, I appreciate you. Thank you guys for the follows or subs. Thank you for being in here, guys. Seriously, I appreciate you guys. I'm not just saying that. I might have to open my window. It's a little bit hot in here. Give me a second, guys. It's a little bit toasty in here. Oh, I forgot there's snow outside. Yeah, it's freezing out here, so I think that feels like low where I am. It's like 4 degrees tonight. This room's going to cool down real quick. Alejandro, I appreciate you. HRRR. Is our HRRR within range yet? R00Z. Whoop. Oh, crap. Thank you for calling that out, Brian. 00Z is out. Just barely. Look at our HRRR down here. This is a good model. It's our best short range model, but it does the best within 12 hours. HRRR, high resolution, rapid refresh model. Sleet, snow. What do these accumulations look like into Texas? It's not that loaded. There's going to be more than what it shows here because it's not all the way loaded through. But this would be snow this would be accumulation into areas like Dallas, maybe even Austin, but we'll have to see. That's what I'm saying. I think the North American model is doing a little bit of weird stuff back here. Most models still want a little snow through this corridor. Not a ton, but a little bit, yeah. Why are there different models? Well, we have models that are made. This is a complicated answer, but the 00Z, the GFS is loading in, guys. This is really, really important. This is going to be really important. I'm nervous that this is going to disappoint people, but it might not. We might like it. Let me pull back up the NAM real quick. So there are a bunch of different models. There are models that just cover the U.S. There's a North American model. Then you've got your like HRRR, which is like a U.S. model. You've got your Euro, which is a global model. Your GFS, which is a global model. So certain models are only going to cover a certain region here, or globally. The GFS covers the entire globe. We'll show you what's going to happen around the globe. Then you have models like the globals that do good at long range. Then you have mid range and you have short range models. So the long range should do better at long range forecasting. The short range should do better at short range forecasting. Now, the atmosphere on planet Earth, the troposphere on planet Earth is the second most variable, you know, how to put it. I kind of responded to someone in what I posted today. It's the second most variable real estate of atmosphere in the galaxy. Jupiter's atmosphere is a tiny bit more complex than our troposphere, but barely. So it's so complicated that there's been a lot of different models created over the years to try to read better into the future to get, a more accurate forecast. And through the years, more and more models have been created with different algorithms, and they're being studied to see which ones are the best, which ones need to be adjusted. And they all handle different things better. The GFS does better in the subtropics. The Euro does better up towards the mid-latitudes and to the north. Your HRRR is super good at short range. Your NAM is an okay 24 to 48 hour model. Your GFS is really good long range, and your CFS is an experimental model for like looking a month ahead. But so it's just a lot of stuff going into it. GFS is coming out right now. It's going to take a little bit to load. Maybe like 20, 30 minutes we'll be able to see what it's, or 20 minutes we'll be able to see what the new outcome for it is. What system of software do you use? This is, 1 second, I'm getting my computer yelling at me. This is Pivotal Weather. I use Pivotal Weather. I use Weather Bell. I use Radar Omega, which is the radar down at the bottom. This is more for stuff that's live going on, which, not much is going on right now across the country. It's kind of quiet, which is good. What's a reasonable high-end snow amount for Boston? Yeah, I don't even want to guess what's going to happen up there. If this thing like super tilts, Boston could get a foot, but that's so far out. Boston still has a possibility of seeing none. What model does the Weather Channel app use? The Weather Channel, they probably use a blend of models. They're using the Weather Channel and NOAA and everything are using the same models I look at, and they choose which ones they think are the most realistic in certain situations. They have obviously good meteorologists. Let's go and win for the 0-0 to come out. I know. The Euro is going to be very, very interesting tonight. It will be, I think. You think Dallas is getting snow? I'm still on the side of yes, although I've been the one saying from the beginning I was worried about that rain sleet line moving up. Will Louisiana get any snow, even flurries? Potentially northwestern Louisiana. Icon is bullish for North Carolina. Yeah, but unfortunately, the Icon's not the best model. The latest NAM is bullish for Charlotte. Up to Mooresville, up to Statesville. 4 to 6 inches. I think that's a little crazy, but we'll see. Will Northwest Louisiana get any snow accumulation? There's still models that want to bring snow into Northwest Louisiana. I think you're going to be worried about some ice accumulation up into Northwest Louisiana, though. That's what I'm concerned with. Let's see here. Is Oklahoma City going to get any? You can see that's where kind of the NAM wants this to originate. Let's go back and look at our old GFS and the Euro, where I think even the Euro wants some snow. You can see here to originate over Oklahoma City and put a tiny bit in. I think the Euro likes that outlook too, if I'm not mistaken. It does. You can see that. So a little bit of snow looks possible in OKC on every single model. So I would say that's a good look for you. Not a ton, but a little bit, yeah. Buckin, Yoga, and Lee. I appreciate you guys. Big Egyptian. Thank you guys. What's the bottom line amount of snow for? I'd be shocked if Philly didn't at least get an inch of accumulation, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what model wins. The high end for Philly would be like probably 7 to 8 inches. The high end, if our most bullish model were to come through here. Can Long Island get accumulating snow? Yes. It definitely. I would say it's. I would say yes. I'd give it still over a 30 to 40% chance of seeing accumulating snow. Can I see the weather Sunday night in Tampa? Planning to go to the NFL playoff game? Yeah, so I'll just show you really quickly down here. We'll actually look at the GFS for down there, because the GFS is going to be, like I always say, you're going to do better down here near the subtropics. Sunday night down here in Florida. Ooh, looks nice. Not expecting too much moisture. A little bit off the coast here. Hopefully that stays off the coast. It should. What are our temperatures looking like that night? We'll go to what does it feel like? What's our wind chill? Sunday night. Okay, our wind chill Sunday night, which would be right around this time. Not bad. So 50s, comfortable, very comfortable. 50s, 60s and dry would be a pretty comfortable game, I'd have to say. Yep. Ice totals, yeah, we'll look back at that here. The NAM shows some concerning ice totals. The NAM can overdo ice totals sometimes, though. I'll tell you that. We can look at our freezing rain here. It's a lot of ice. That's the 18Z. The 00Z is an even worse look. Yeah, see that? Everyone in those areas should have some bottled water, food, batteries, emergency kit, should have some sort of plan. If you have fuel, get a little extra fuel. If you're in these dark purple areas, guys, you probably wait another 24 hours to see if this changes. If you still see these types of look within 24 hours, I would at least, this can, freezing rain can easily pull down power lines, topple trees, make roads impassable. You have very cold air moving in after this. You don't want to be stuck without power. Frozen pipes, burst pipes, no access to water, food, with impassable roads. So we'll see. 24 hours from now, if you still see this type of look, these areas, and I'll show this tomorrow. And I forgot to put it in my video today. I wanted to talk about the ice in my video today, and I literally forgot. But, they just experienced this up through the Central Plains and out east, and there's still, tens of thousands of people without power. Thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate that. And the subs. That's it. Let's see here. Did I just hear thunder? What the heck was that, guys? Did I just hear thunder? No way. There's no net over here. I don't know what I just heard. Probably a chair rolling. That was so weird. Maybe it was a snowplow. It's probably a snowplow outside going by. I'm tripping, guys. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Love me some thunderstorms. For the Eagles playoffs game, Sunday, 4:30. What are we looking at? Yeah, I'll show you that in 1 second. Nini, appreciate you. Chances of this system moving more south. 20-30% chance. I think if anything, it might shift more farther north, but it's going to wobble back north and south a little bit more as these models update until we get down to our short range HRRR, 24 hours probably. Yeah, so I mean, we should be dry Sunday for the Eagles game. Dry and cold. And that's the easiest forecast ever, I think. Look at our temperatures actually look like up here. Sunday night for the Eagles game. Temperature-wise, I do wind chill because who cares what the temperature is if you have wind, humidity, and it feels much colder. So what is our feels like temperature going to be? What's going to feel like sitting in the stands at the Eagles game? Low 20s. A little chilly. Yep, but I think we're going to have some dry conditions. The storm should be off the coast. So it should be out of our hair for that game. Knock on wood. I mean, actually, a lot of you guys would probably want snow falling. What am I saying? Okay, guys, our GFS is loading in, our new GFS, and I know a lot of people want to see this, and I really want to see this. Okay, this is going to be interesting. We're starting to get close here. Santiago, what's going on, dude? Only thing I'm wishing for is some real snow in Connecticut. It's possible with this system. We'll see what the new GFS says. North Louisiana meteorologists ain't the best. Help us out. They're probably not used to forecasting snow either. Although, I mean, meteorologists know what they're talking about. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, northern Louisiana still looks like it's going to be an ice and sleet issue, if we're being completely honest. Thursday and Friday, snow chances for north central Louisiana, 10 to 15%. I think it's going to be a sleet and ice issue. Seattle. Here, let's move back a little bit here. What's going on out here in the Pacific Northwest? Above average temperatures, high elevation snow, low elevation rain as we push into Friday. Dry average temperatures as we move all the way out 5 days. Not much action going on the West Coast in general. I know you've got some strong winds down in Santa Ana. Santa Ana winds down there in SoCal. So fire threat, elevated fire threat, all the action is kind of happening out here to the east, except for you do have some clipper systems moving up there through the northern Rockies, putting a little bit of snow down into the southern Rockies as well. Some cold air troughing too as we get towards the end of this run, as we push out into the weekend and in the beginning of next week. Western North Carolina, yeah, most models, the snow chances in Western North Carolina look very good. This is pivotal weather that I'm looking at right now. Okay, guys, I'm going to start showing you updated snow maps because we have the new NAM in, we're getting the new GFS in, we have the new icon in. So what this is going to do is it's going to change up our best model, which is our national blended models. It's going to give us a different outlook on that, which we like. Yeah. Yankees fans are even worse. I'm a Yankees fan, and I have to agree with you. How's the outlook for Southwest Missouri in the system? Yeah, it depends what you're looking at. Southwest Missouri could get some good snow. I think Southwest Missouri gets snow on every single type of look. You can see the icon. Okay, our latest GFS is loading, and I really want to see it. Southwest Missouri gets snow with all these systems. It really wants to bring in 2 to 4 inches or 1 to 3 inches in Southwest Missouri on all these looks. So here's our latest GFS loading. See, still bringing snow back into Charlotte. I mean, back into Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area. I can already tell you the GFS does like a little bit farther southern snow here, which is interesting again. Slightly deeper low. Lower Alabama, yeah, snow chances low, but you guys are going to get a lot of precip. That is something I want to talk about as well. We've been talking about ice chances a little bit, but we can actually go and we can take a look at our total quantitative precipitation, guys. Louisiana, southeastern Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, southern Mississippi. You could get crazy rain totals. Localized flash flooding. So that's concerning as well. All right, new GFS load in here so I can answer more people's questions. Mrs. Marconi. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, and I'm sorry, but I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Marconi. Oh, God, I know I'm butchering that name. Gosh dang it. What's Reading looking like today? With our latest update, I mean, with the NAM, with all of our latest updates, I mean, Reading is still looking like a couple inches as possible. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm going to do after this stream, I'm going to be on the stream for a while longer, but I'm going to do a sub-only stream on TikTok for about 20 minutes so I can answer anyone who subs. I want to make sure I answer all your questions before I call it for the night, but I'm going to be on here for a little bit longer. Birmingham, Alabama is just south of the snow line. Could it shift a little more south? Yes, but it's going to be tough. Can I show the HRRR snow totals in Dallas? Yeah, I showed that before, but I'll show it to you again here. Look what's going on with the GFS, wanting to bring those totals back up in Dallas. I told you guys, I think the NAM's a little crazy, but we'll see if it actually holds up. I mean, it's a little crazy with how it's handling Texas. Old Soldier and Holden, I appreciate you guys. But what's important with this, again, and we went over this earlier in the stream, is we want to know how this is handling Yoga Pants. I appreciate the sub. Thank you. I want to know, the gray means like an inch of snow. I want to know what's happening with the northern system on this GFS. Okay. We still have this cutting south. Okay, interesting. Let's compare the old GFS to the new GFS. You know it's time. Turn me up, AC. I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Really quickly, let's look at our old GFS and compare it to the new one to see how it's handling this piece of energy up at the north, because that's going to decide how much snow you all see, especially when it pushes closer to the east and up towards the Mid-Atlantic, New England, and the Ohio Valley. So what we will do is to see how this is treating it kind of live. We'll do it live. We're going to go into here. So we're about 60. So let's go here and let's go into 66 and let's see what we are looking like with how this northern piece of energy is being treated. New run, old run, new run, old run, new run, old run. Interesting. New run, old run. Okay. Interesting. There's a really big... This is missing. This digging is sort of missing here. Winter McMahon, I appreciate the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 7 streamers. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the subs and follows, guys. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, if you're new in here, I post updates every single day. I stream every single night. Weekends, sometimes day and night. But I've been grinding lately, and the streams have been great. The views have been awesome, and it's just really cool. So, sorry, anyone who's been here knows I like to do this because I really want to see if I can pick up on the trend before it's fully loaded. So 66 will go into 72, and let's compare these. I will tell you off the bat, the new GFS is not going to want to negatively tilt the system as much. It's not. It's still going to want to. It's still not a Euro type flatten out model in any circumstance, but you can see this really significant kind of troughing in this low right here. Wants to kind of pull off. Watch when I go to the new one. You see that, guys? So that's interesting. That's going to change things moving forward here. That's going to change things moving forward here. Still not a terrible look. Still much better than the Euro. The Euro has that thing disappearing up to the north. Look at this. Still bringing snow much farther south. Wow. Wow. That is a weird... I don't even know if I want to show you the new GFS with this type of look. Down in the south. Take this with a grain of salt. I'll show you it because we've been waiting for this model to load. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. This, I don't know about this, guys. This, I think it's getting way too far south with this snow. But when you get in this time range and you take, when you get within this 60-hour time range, 70 and under time range, and you see this from the GFS, you can't completely discount it. It's seeing a fresh data set from weather balloons and applying it to its algorithm that does an okay job. So you can't discount it. This would be so much better for Atlanta, central Alabama, potentially even down to central Mississippi. Our bigger Arkansas totals, and I can already tell you if this were to happen, this would be much bigger Charlotte totals up to Raleigh. So now the way the storm's looking like it's progressing, though, I have a feeling that it's not going to really tilt as significantly up the coast. But you can see with this latest GFS loading, bigger snow totals in Tennessee, up through the Ohio Valley, Missouri, everywhere gets a okay snow, maybe 2 to 5 inches wide through that swath I just covered. So we'll let this load. We'll take a look at it. The biggest, but I will not accept this run until I get to compare it to the Euro that comes out tonight. I just looked at the new GFS, and there is no snow for the Northeast. Well, the new GFS is not... You can't see that far out yet. Look, this is as far out as the new GFS goes. We're watching this load live. Are you able to see it before me? And if so, explain how. I actually want to know how. I'm looking for the answer. Hold up. There's too much in chat. 1 second, guys. I don't think... 1 second. Jenny, I appreciate you. Okay, so I can't. All right, Shirley. Yeah, guys, we're going to get back into everything. We're waiting for this model to load. This is still snow moving up to the Northeast. This isn't tilting as much as the last one, but we already saw that. I talked about that as soon as I started seeing that piece of energy now move down to the south. Here's our last GFS, wanting closer to a 1001 millibar, 1004, 1001 as we move through the Carolinas. That's our older one. Here's our newer one. We'll see it does this as we get a little bit farther loaded here, start to deepen. The low's deepening, not as quickly as it did in the last one. So this would still be DMV snow. Less snow for up here. We still have to get this loaded in. Would still be some good snow, some okay snow in the Ohio Valley, Tennessee. This would be crazier snow for the Southeast, actually, which is interesting. Oklahoma, Missouri, a little bit in southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, yeah. Michelle, I appreciate you. Any change for Louisiana, do you think, with the new model? No, not much of a change. It's still tough to get the snow line down there. Still looking like a lot of sleet and freezing rain for you guys. Yeah, and guys, you can see what's happening here with the latest GFS. And we're not really even looking down at our storm system. We're looking up here to the north at what's happening with our steering and potentially negatively tilting mechanism up here. And it doesn't want to dig in as far. It still digs in more than the Euro. But we need this really to tilt, and it's tough. But we'll see how this loads through, what it wants to do with it. Kelly, I appreciate you. No, give us the snow, I know, right? The new GFS is dumping on Dallas again. I wouldn't say dumping, but definitely putting snow back into Dallas, yeah. Delaware, this would still be okay snow for Delaware. Baltimore, Maryland. Yep, Connor's Corner on YouTube as well. I'm multi-streaming there. Yep. Yep, North Georgia. This looks even better for North Georgia, the latest GFS. It's looking actually better for the south and worse for the north. So here's... okay. Okay. This isn't terrible news. 1,002 millibar. This is still riding the coast. This is still riding the coast. This would still be snow up here in this region. This really wants to tilt right here still. What's probably happening is at the end of this run, our troughing system up here is slowing down. What can happen? What can happen, guys, is if we have a block out here to the east, a high pressure block, or what you would call a ridge, is your system here can start to slow, and if that slows, our southern system can catch up to it, and then it can start to tilt again. And we're kind of seeing something like that possibly with this loading in. So this might have just tricked us out. Let's see here. You know what I actually want to do? Let's pull back out to a bigger picture. Let's look at North America, and let's go into our... Here we go. So here we go. Wednesday, Thursday. So you can see here, we have somewhat of a block out here towards Greenland. Really not Greenland. This is like a Nova Scotia. But this northern trough is slowing down. So if that were to happen, we could have our southern system catch up and then also still tilt and slow down up the coast. I think that's what's happening here. Let's see what happened if we go back to our 12Z of the GFS and we move this forward. You can see it has that northern system escaping under that block right here. Let's move in and see how this wants to load in. This is there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with these latest model runs. The NAMA racing snow in Dallas, the GFS. Look, it tilts. This would still be good snow probably for New Jersey. I mean, look at this. That's so weird how this is being handled. Wait, okay, no, that's okay. Sorry, I just faked you guys out. But it still does. Here you go. Look at that. That still would be big snow for Baltimore, D.C., New Jersey. Now, this would be really close to dumping in Philly, but it would be just off the coast. It would also be really close to putting snow up in Boston. This would ride just off the coast. Time for that to adjust. We'll see. This would still be big snow through this corridor here. Philly would probably just miss out. Philly would get snow. I can show you what the latest kind of snow totals on this would look. The latest NAM and this latest GFS are going to completely change our national blended models. So now we need this to load through, but you can see this still wants a good corridor of snow through this region here. So we'll watch that. Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, I've been over that. Yeah, North Georgia looks better with this model run, but we really need to wait and see what happens with our Euro and compare it here. This is really close to being a really big storm for the Mid-Atlantic. This probably would be an okay storm though through Delaware and Maryland, and put some snow probably into New York City, and a lot through an okay little couple inches through the Ohio Valley, and up through the Northeast a tiny bit. Let's go back here. I'm gonna start. I'll show you guys. Everyone's answering by asking questions about specific states, specific cities. So I'll go back and do what I always do, and I'll just show you what our latest blended models is. And is this going to take into account our latest run of the GFS? Probably not yet. So let me see if I can go into our latest ensemble of the GFS and show you what's going on with that. We're not going to have our latest 18Z. We'll go into our latest I really want to give you the best possible look here and not a crazy look. So we'll take a look. We'll take a look at our latest Euro ensemble really quickly. Here's what our latest Euro ensemble thinks. Okay, let's go down here. I'll actually show you what our NAM thinks, but I'll show you it. Let's go back down. Everyone's asking state by state. Trust me, I know. Let's go down to South Central region. I'll just go into, well, yeah, we'll go to South Central region. We'll start off down here. Again, the NAM's the only model that doesn't see snow through this corridor here. So I would still be positive on seeing a little bit of snow through here. But Arkansas obviously wants a pretty good dumping. Northern Mississippi, the GFS, the new model of the GFS does want to bring that slightly more to the south. You're going to probably see that adjusted when we look at the new national blended models. We can go out towards the southeast. Again, latest GFS model brings this snow line a little bit farther to the south, which I believe I actually did say was probably going to happen. So I think these totals might be a little bullish from the NAM. I'd probably take those totals down a tiny bit, and the snow line may come down a tiny bit. So that's what's going on there. And then up towards the mid-Atlantic, we'd have to use, I mean, we can look at our latest GFS up towards the mid-Atlantic. So, oh, I had to move this on TikTok. Sorry, I'll go back and show you guys again. So this is the latest GFS. Interesting look. It wants a very thin line of somewhere between 3 to 5 inches through here. And then it wants, an inch out here of accumulation. I actually don't think we would see something like this. I either think we're going to see a lot less or I think we're going to see a lot more. So take that with a grain of salt, or take that for what it is. NAM 12K. I know some people on TikTok couldn't see this, so I'll go back down really quick to the South Central. This is kind of what it's looking like, although most models do like snow through this corridor. Sorry, it wasn't moved over for you guys. And the latest GFS wants that snow line a little bit farther to the south. I could see that. I could see that happening. And then this is the NAM on, in the southeast. I think these totals are a tiny bit high. I also think this snow line could possibly dive a little bit farther to the south like this. So some interesting stuff to look at. I want to see what our national blended models looks like moving forward. We don't have the latest update, but we will have it soon. We will have it soon. Did I not just show? People are still asking about certain locations. Let me go up here into... Okay, I'll show the Northeast. I mean, this isn't a big snow for like inland New York or upstate. I guess I'll show you guys what's going on up there. A couple different looks. Here's our GFS for upstate New York. Okay, not major snow totals. We can look at our Canadian, or it's not going to go into New York. We can look at our Euro for upstate New York. Here you go. So this would be most of this is lake effect. Pretty much, this is all lake effect and Clipper system. This doesn't have to do with the other system. All right. I just showed Texas. What does GFS stand for? Global Forecasting System. Let's see here. Sorry for asking again, but when is it going to snow in Oregon? I mean, we'll look at our precipitation up there really quickly. Let's go. I'll quickly run into the Euro. This, 1 second. Internet's pivotal weather's freezing for a second. 1 second, guys. Tanner, Tessa, I appreciate you guys. Nothing serious in New Jersey anymore. Yeah, but Sam, these models change constantly. The littlest shift to the west, or a slightly more tilted trough completely changes it. That's why the forecast up here is we don't understand very well. We understand what's happening down here much better. Here you go. Oregon, no snow, no snow. High elevation snow here, low elevation rain. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So that's almost your week outlook. Nothing too crazy. Pretty dry, really, other than as you're moving into Friday, and then that's high elevation snow. So here's our latest GFS. So let's go back here. Latest GFS. This is really close to being a serious nor'easter. Let's see. It could still be. We'll have to see. Connecticut is up in the air right now. It is up in the air. Yep. Do you think we should wait until at least the 9th for a good idea on mid-Atlantic snow? Yeah. Yeah. Well, tomorrow we'll have the NAM up there, and the 9th we'll have the HRRR up there, which is good for estimates. But who knows? The 00Z could start to look like the GFS tonight. And if the 00Z treated that piece of energy up north like the GFS just did, we'd probably have a good idea like tomorrow. Bunny in Kenya, I appreciate you guys. Tanner, thank you. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs, guys. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I guess I didn't really show you guys through the Ohio Valley. I'll show you guys through the Ohio Valley what's our latest look. Do we have? I really want a new national blend of models. So we'll go into kind of here. Let's go into the Ohio Valley. This is our GFS look through the Ohio Valley. Oops. Here you go. This is our GFS look through the Ohio Valley. Okay. GFS look. Latest GFS look. Can you see where you live? Okay. This is a wide swath right here. This is a wide swath of anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. Very wide swath in there. What do the red numbers mean in relation to pushing the system up the East Coast? The red numbers. Oh, yeah. Oh, like the low pressure. The deeper the low pressure gets, the more the trough is likely tilting. And if that low pressure were to deepen quicker before it approached the coast, the trough would be tilting quicker and would be a better system for the Northeast. So really quickly, if you're looking like at the low down there, if we were to see this low, so right here it's 1,005, 1,003, 1,007, 1,002. Then when it really starts to get deep, right, 998, 992, it's already off the coast. We want that number to start happening here, and then that means instead, if this low started deepening here, it would likely start to curl. But when it starts deepening out here, it doesn't curl until it's really far out, and that's what brings kind of the big snow. But yeah, so this is our GFS through the Ohio Valley. And then if we look at our European through the Ohio Valley, obviously numbers are down. Not bad for a lot of places. You're still seeing accumulation through a pretty wide region of areas. And then if we showed our Canadian, similar to the European, and for Ohio Valley numbers, you can really see most places on this one. South Central. You see the Canadians still like snow into Dallas. The GFS still likes snow into Dallas. And the Euro still likes snow into Dallas. A lot of snow into Dallas. Well, it's going to be a close call. What doesn't like snow into Dallas is our latest short range, which is our NAM 12K. It disappears all our snow down there into Dallas. So we can go down here. Kuchera. Let me get states. Back down into Texas. And look at that. Doesn't like it at all. Our national blended models, which is widely considered our best model to look at this type of time frame, does still like snow into Dallas. Now, this is going to underestimate snow totals because it's averaging models that don't show any snow. So I would say this is still saying 2 to 3 inches is possible in Dallas. So luckily for you guys in Dallas, these in the central to northeastern and northern Texas, the zero snow in those regions is an outlier. Still better chance you see some. Let's just get 10 to 16 on I-95 corridor. That would be sick. That'd be sick. That's where I am. Love that. All right. Let's get back in here. There we go. Is there a fire in Malibu? Not surprised. They have big hat. Yeah, with that windstorm. It's dry out there. The temperatures are above average and it's very windy. They're expecting fires. Yeah. They're expecting fires out there. The valley and north. The valley and north and west. And it's 0.3 inches. That's only on the... Yeah. There's some models that want to bring more into there, Tyler. So, do you not know where El Paso is on the map? That's my question. So, I showed the whole state of Texas like 4 times. Do we know where El Paso is on the map? Whoa, what just happened to my... what just happened here? Weird. 1 second here. So, I'll show it again. It's the last time for you. You see out here? Good signal for snow in El Paso. So, here, do you want me to shoot? There we go. There we go. See it? See it? Euro. Sorry, here we go. Euro. All right. GFS. Canadian. What the heck is this? This is an old run. Don't look at that. What the heck? Oh, yeah. What is the Canadian doing? Do not look at that craziness. All right, let's get back here, guys. I try to show everyone those totals so I don't have to go back. But let's go over here. Does the pink any snow for Wisconsin coming? Honestly, you've got some clipper systems moving over. Not a ton. You guys are guys have been very, very, very cold here. You have just a constant cold troughing pattern. This doesn't allow for much lift. This doesn't allow for much, any kind of mechanisms to put any sort of storm systems through your area. We're going to see a pattern change with some more kind of ridging, troughing interaction up here, I think late into January and into February. That's going to greatly amplify your snow totals through the northern plains. How long? I know people are asking me about like Tennessee, like states, and I just showed every single state and the snow totals on every single model. So I'm not going to answer those right away again, since I just spent 10 minutes showing every single state across the country and every single model and the snow totals. But I will go back and answer that again in a second. Bonnie, Kenya, Tyler, Carmen, Jen, Piedmont, Josh, I appreciate you guys. North Alabama, yeah, it does look like a decent amount. Yeah. Still looking pretty good. So are we getting that blizzard in Philly? Yeah, the blizzard that everyone was telling you about. It doesn't, it's still a chance. There's still time, because I think there's still time for the models definitely to adjust up here. Down here, it's looking like we're going to get a wide swath of anywhere between 2 to 5 inches through a lot of these areas. And then probably, up here, maybe 1 to 4, 1 to 4 through here. 2 to 5 is possible through here. And then, up here, we want to, there's still a little Euro off here, GFS up here action going on. So that's going to be a little bit confusing. Now there is, as we move forward, you're going to probably get maybe a tiny bit of dusting into Chicago and into Detroit and into parts of the Northeast. So now there is a lot of, I'll tell you this, guys, too. If you don't get snow from the system, we're expecting below average temperatures across much of the country, including a lot in the south and especially the east through the end of January. There's going to be 100% an opportunity or two for 1 or 2 more storms down here. So who knows how far south they get. The outlook for more snowstorms in the south is actually good, just as good as it was for this one. And this one is actually happening. Michael, you have a great night. Are the Palisades gonna get rain? Here's your snow corridor. I'll show you with our latest GFS, because I think our latest GFS is handling it good enough. So this would be more of your rainfall right here. Josh and Sean, I appreciate you. Bring it to Toledo. Northeast Iowa is dry, I know. Southern Virginia does look good with the system, no matter which one wins. Philip, finally snow in Minnesota, and how are you? I know, this Clipper could bring a little bit of snow through you guys. It could actually bring more than it's projecting right now, if I'm being honest. And you can see we're getting a decent sort of system moving through the Rockies down into the Southern Rockies, which is good too. And some snow into New Mexico, which they've been in a little bit of a drought, if I'm not mistaken. I'm praying for a mid-Atlantic blizzard. Same. Why is the Weather Channel only calling for less than an inch about 30 miles north of Philly? Because there are some models that suggest that. You know, our latest GFS, that's about what it likes. Although it's extremely close to being a much more. It's very close. In this time frame, we could easily see this change. You know, we have the trough tilting right off the coast here and starting to deepen right off the coast. So, you know, this, once you see this thing's deepen from 1,002 millibar, 998, 992, 990, this is when this snow right here gets very, very heavy. This snow is snow that brings you 6 inches to a foot. Now, does this system have time to shift west? 100%. Will it? We got to wait. We need some model consensus on that. But could you see the snow band technically shift in here? You could. You could. Is Charlotte snow or mix on the new models? It's still snow. Snow in a little mix, but still accumulating snow. Kimber, appreciate you. The Stella, user 4823. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the follows and subs, guys. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Yeah, here, let me get into what's going on up here. We can look a little bit farther out if you guys want to. We can get a little bit crazy here. So, here's our latest GFS. You got some clippers moving through the plains, light snow. Here's what's going on. Here's our forecast temperatures from the Climate Prediction Center through January 17th. Okay? If you're in the white, it's average temperatures. Average temperatures in January is pretty cold, let's be honest. All right, here's your forecast temperatures, temperature departures from the Climate Prediction Center through the 21st of January. The entire country is very cold, but look what's extra cold out here. So below average temperatures, Lake Lady. Shout out to the Mezzo team. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. User 482 and that S197. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, so second, third week of January, historically, on average, in the Northern Hemisphere, the coldest 2 weeks of the year. You got below average temperatures across most of the country during this time frame. We see some pieces of energy, low pressures that want to form down here. Someone's going to get snow down here in the south again, if that happens. I think it might. Now, we can look at our precipitation outlook here, too. Our precipitation through the 17th wants to increase up here a tiny bit through the northern plains. And then as we push out through the 21st, average to slightly above average precipitation through almost the whole country, except for portions out here and maybe, inland New England. So below average temperatures, above average to average precipitation. You'd expect a lot of these places to see a little bit of snow, especially, a lot of these areas to have a chance. And with temperatures well below average down here, it wouldn't be surprising if we had another winter system try to make its way through the south. That's not out of the question either. Now we can look at an update from NOAA. Let's see. Let's go here. Do they have an update here? God, their projection for December and January was so wrong though. Amity, I appreciate that. Here, let me go back. Let me just see. Here, I'll load this back up for you guys. And I'll go back here so you guys can kind of see. I think we're going to have a new national blend of models coming out here in a second. Global, United States. Let's go into snow totals. Here's our national blend for the upcoming snow system. So this would be through the weekend. Best odds of getting snow. This isn't going to be where your snow totals would look like, but who has the best chance of getting snow? Your snow totals would actually be a little bit higher than this. That dark blues, the light blue here would typically be probably closer to 4. The dark blue would be closer to 6. Your grays would be closer to 1 to 2 inches on this type of map. This is a national blend of models. Jake loves Legos. I appreciate the sub. Norman, Oklahoma, how's it looking? Well, if you're central and eastern Oklahoma, central, eastern, southern Oklahoma, it's looking pretty good for chances for snow. Bro, what is the model? What is this model in Lost? Like, I see Charlotte get snow, and this model does not show any snow. This model does still show snow in the Charlotte. It shows a couple inches, actually. Our latest short range is really, really nice to Charlotte. I can tell you that right now. We can go in here. Look at our latest American model. It does some nice things to Charlotte. Almost 4 inches. I don't know about that. 4 inches up towards Statesville. Almost 5 inches up towards Lake Norman. Yeah. What's the percentage chance of snow in northern Alabama? Almost 100% in northern Alabama. Like northern, though. Let's see what the NAM really wants it very far. That's Alabama south. They don't have Alabama north. What the heck? Here. I'll just go region southeast. See, it likes it very, very far north. I think it's inevitable. Some people are going to see snow here. The latest GFS brings this snow farther to the south. The latest GFS brings this snow up like that, which is interesting. So, I think the latest GFS handles Texas okay, so I'll show you that. I see someone asking about Texas. Let's see. This is your latest GFS on Texas. Let's just go to snow total. GFS. This is your here. This would be through the weekend. Pretty bullish with some snow up there near Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah. Deep down, how much snow do you believe Long Island will get if you had to put some big bucks on it? A dusting. How does it mean that you made me do that? A dusting, I think, is the best chance. Which is dumb, I know. It's not going to be our last snow of the season, I can promise you that. We'll probably have another one or two in January based on our outlook. This is a Friday event for the South. Yes, it is. For the Southeast, it's a Friday event. It's a Thursday into Friday event for like Texas, into Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Most of the Southeast, it's a Friday into a Saturday event. For the Northeast, it's a Saturday event. Man, I appreciate you. I'm going to get off here in a little bit, and I'm going to do probably like 5-10 minutes, and I'm going to do a sub-only live for probably 20 minutes over on TikTok. Do you think we will ever get something like the 96 Blizzard again? Yeah, 100%. We will. We will. We've had a lot of chances recently, and we've had a lot of storms that have pumped snow right off the coast of the Mid-Atlantic that people don't realize. They started to tilt and intensify literally 100 miles off the coast. All it takes is one of those to stay inland. We will see. We'll see another one like that. Can you check on January 19th for Central Kentucky? And nothing I see on January 19th that far away will be real. 12 days out. I can tell you this, your temperatures are still expected to remain below average during that time. Cold. Precipitation, these models can't see what precip 12 days out and be good. Like what I show you, the chance of it happening would be like 1%. Weekend event for Cape Cod at all? Shout out Cape Cod. Yeah, we'll see how this moves up the coast. Again, we kind of oops, let me fix this real quick, guys. We'll see how this moves up the coast. Our latest GFS wants this to get real close to skirting up into New England. You can see it kind of wants to take this and move it out like this, keeping that snow band right off the coast. We could, it's very easy to these things shift left and right all the time at this time range. So when we have a better idea for the nor'easter. Yeah, I mean Thursday we'll have the HRRR. We'll have our best short range model and be able to see that. So Thursday, no doubt. Tomorrow we'll have the NAM up there as well. And if we get consensus on the NAM and icon towards the GFS, we'll start maybe considering a big nor'easter again. It's not impossible that this thing starts to look like that. Do you think you will see another 93 type of snowstorm within 10 years? I would almost guarantee you, yes. I would almost guarantee you we see another 93 blizzard within the next 10 years. I'm surprised we haven't seen one like it in the last almost 30 years. Yeah. I think more likely than not we will. Maybe not as intense, but close, possibly. Like, lady, I appreciate that. Oh, 100,000 likes. That's actually crazy. Pop off. Almost got 1,000 new followers on this stream on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. I don't know. I can't see my new subs on YouTube. I'm trying to get that fixed so I can see it, but I appreciate you guys over on YouTube as well. Just joined. I'm the one who messaged you on TikTok about Fort Worth, Texas. If I'm going to have any problems driving through there from Ohio on Friday. Yeah, so Friday. Yeah, interesting. So driving from Ohio to Fort Worth, Texas. So, yeah. And if you messaged me in my inbox on TikTok and I haven't got back to you, it's just because if this was my full-time job, which I'm hoping to make it my full-time job, you know, sooner than later, I have to grow this a little bit, obviously. But I work, you know, another full-time job, so I have very little time. I get home from work, got to take care of my kid. I got to make these videos. I do my hours of streaming, go to sleep, wake back up, repeat. So I try to get back to people like in my inbox and stuff, and I never have time to. And I have like 130 messages I haven't answered, but I try to. A lot of times I'll see them. I won't have time to even answer. Yeah, Ohio to Dallas. You're probably not going to see any sort of crazy, you know, I would take a route like this if you can, not down through Tennessee. You're not going to see any severe weather. Roads could be a little sketchy, but it's nothing that looks super dangerous. Boy, Mom, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the sub. And thank you, Alice and Felicity and Amanda. I'm off for the night. Gracie. Shout out to Gracie. Always in here with me. Thanks so much for all the info and updates. We appreciate you. Thank you, Gracie. Have a great night. I hope we can get some here in Northeast Georgia. I think you will. Hearing some good things. Hope it dumps some good snow. I think you will if you're really up there in Northeast Georgia. Yeah. Addison, Shauna, Misty Rain. I appreciate you guys. East Tennessee, all of Tennessee looks good for snow. Regardless of what model wins here. Does the ice outlook look any different with the new updates in the south? Yeah, that's one thing we haven't looked at on the new GFS, so I'll go in here and take a quick look at that. The new GFS is which is good, is not showing crazy ice. Globals never do good with ice though, so I would still watch out and look at the NAM for ice totals. And the NAM overdoes it, the GFS underdoes it. So, but our NAM's still a little bit spooky. But I'd say by tomorrow, we'll know who to warn. That's a little bit spooky down here in this corridor. But I think tomorrow we'll know who to really warn, who to prepare for that. Still chances for a nor'easter. Yeah, there is. I mean, we're talking about this system affecting the Northeast in general. We're still over 72 hours out, over 3 days. So you can have a lot change in the next 24 hours still before you really get a lockdown forecast. It's moving up there. How strong will it be is the question. Layla. Martin, I appreciate you. Becky, thank you. Thank you, Gracie. Dalton, no problem. I'm going to wrap it up. Good night. Blurry, appreciate you. Let's play for a big blizzard. Thank you for all the weather news, Connor. Appreciate you being in here, Blurry. Does Ohio get snow mid-March? I will be going up there. Ohio can definitely get snow mid-March. Most of your Ohio snow is going to be, January, February, but it snows in March in Ohio. It's your probability goes down, but it's not terribly down. April's where you really drop off a cliff there. Will Central New Jersey be expecting snow? You're still expecting snow. Totals are a little bit down though. Dallas-Fort Worth accumulation. There's heavy disagreement. Well, all models except for the NAM, I think Dallas is at least going to get a few inches. The NAM's the only, which is good because there's that means the NAM, which calls for no snow in Dallas, is the outlier. So I would say there's a better chance for a few inches of accumulation in Dallas than not. But you're really close to the ice sleet line, and if that thing shifts any farther north, it can really mess that up. Do you think the Euro will agree a little more with the GFS 00Z? You know what? I want to say yes, but I really thought we'd have that agreement from the 00Z yesterday from the Euro, or this morning from the Euro, and I was wrong. They're handling it and like I told you, it's because the Euro just can't. The Euro is confused with these types of things. So all the other models do see something similar, and the Euro just doesn't see it. I would hope by tonight that we have that model consensus from the Euro. Please talk about the snow over North Carolina. Yep, we've gone over North Carolina a ton. We'll look at that. Latest GFS still likes. It's weird what it's doing with Charlotte. Our latest NAM, all of our models still like snow into Charlotte. But the latest GFS really wants that snow line farther into the west and a lot of snow into Appalachia, into the mountains of North Carolina. I'm still leaning towards Charlotte up to Raleigh gets a little bit of snow accumulation because that's still the model. That's still the overall model consensus. Let me see if we have a new. One second here. Let me see if we have any updates here. The new National Blended Models is coming out, which is really good. This is going to give us a really good idea of what adjustments have been made and what we can really expect the differences to be. So that's loading right now. I'm tempted to wait for this to load before I go into my sub-only stream on TikTok. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This isn't expected to be a big snowstorm for anyone up here. I mean, an inch or two is probably what I'd best guess right now. Pittsburgh. Probably an inch. Let's see here. Kentucky, it still really wants 1 to 3, 2 to 4 through Kentucky with most of these models. Philly's up in the air. Latest totals for Philly looks more like an inch. But you guys have to understand, forecasting up here with this system is almost impossible right now because we have our good European model that wants to do it here, but we have model consensus on the other systems that want to bring it up here, and we're still going to see a major difference. So it's a very, very tight call up there. I'm just on here because I'm waiting for this latest National Blended Models to load in. This was our last look at it. And then I do here. We'll hold this for a second. One second, guys. Gojira. One second. Just got a text. There we go. Let me move this out. One second, guys. National Blend's going to take a little bit. Let's see how long this is going to take to load. Because I really want to see that load up. But I have to go to bed soon. I got to get up early to drive down into Philly. Becky, Rod, Gina. Appreciate you guys. Could the ice sleet line shift south in Dallas? Yes, it could. How much for East Tennessee? Right now, the ballpark is 3 to 5 inches. Could see more. That's the best guess based on our latest model guidance. So here, let's go. I'll show you the NAM short range for that because the NAM's probably handling that somewhat decently. Here you go. I think the NAM's the ham. Start calling it the ham. I think the NAM is handling this somewhat decently. We'll go into U.S. regions and we will go into the Ohio Valley. See that? Let's see here. Just joined. When is this storm hitting? Iowa being affected? Iowa doesn't look like it's going to get much or any. This is a system that wants to start down in Texas Thursday afternoon. Wants to start down in Texas Thursday afternoon and make its way up through the southeast and up towards the mid-Atlantic as we push into Saturday. So this would be like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of pattern. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of storm. Most likely. That's kind of what our best guesstimation of the timeline is going to be. This isn't a bad look at what some of the totals we can see. I think the NAM's being a little bullish here though. So I'd take these totals with a grain of salt. Maryland affected? Likely. Yes. Will Spokane, Washington get snow? No low elevation snow is expected anytime soon in Washington, but a little bit of snow for the mountains over the next few days. Ryan and Jen, I appreciate you. Knoxville, Tennessee. The NAM thinks you guys could get 6 to 7 inches. I think it's crazy. I think 3 to 5 would be a better guesstimate. You want to be conservative with that. Yes, NAM model 00Z does look bad for North Dallas, Umberto, but it's the only model that doesn't show snow into Dallas. So it's an outlier in Dallas. So I think Dallas is still safe. It's very close to that sleet ice line though. That could ruin the snow. But Dallas overall on the average between your models doesn't look like the NAM's the outlier. It's the only one that doesn't like snow in Dallas. Kimber, I appreciate you. Nancy, Sarah, Missy. Let's see here. Buddy thinks he's a weatherman. Well, I don't think I'd be dedicating 30 to 40 hours a week or the last 20 years of my life studying weather to not talk about it. So I don't know. What do you want me to do? Be a geologist? Maybe I should go start studying rocks if that would make you happy. When is this? Yep. This would be so we'll pull back out here. This would be a system that started down in Texas around Thursday, move its way through here Friday, Saturday, and then off the coast Sunday. Biggest issue we are having with this storm, for anyone who's just joined, and why the model consensus isn't very high, is not because there's any disagreement on our low down here that's originating down here in the northwestern Gulf, or really it's kind of originating out down here in the southwestern Pacific and amplifying from the Gulf moisture here. So here's the issue for anyone who hasn't been in here. All of our models agree on this troughing down here and our low pressure system down here forming right off into the northwestern Gulf. We're going to have another troughing system up here to the north. And if this low wants to dig down and help us down here with our snowstorm and help to instead, this is what we call right here, guys. This is what we call a positively tilted trough. When you have your trough tilted out here to the west. Now, you don't get a very powerful storm with this because to get a very strong storm, you're going to want this to tilt negatively. Why? Storm systems in the northern hemisphere move from the west to the east. So right now, your instability is not very good. You just have cooler air out ahead of this. You want warmer air being pulled into the system, pushing into colder air. That allows for a lot more lift, and that allows for a rapidly decreasing low pressure system. So if this starts to tilt, and it's moving this way, what happens? Warm air is getting wrapped up over the top. Moisture, cold air interaction, unstable air. That leads to a deepening low and a much bigger snowstorm. So what the GFS kind of wants to do more than the Euro is it wants this northern trough to dig and help to negatively tilt this and create a bigger snowstorm. What the European model wants to do is have our northern piece of energy up here skirt off towards Nova Scotia and kind of flatten our southern snowstorm like a pancake and really compress and delete, like DEL on the keyboard, delete the snow and not allow it to move up the coast. That's where the disagreement's been coming from, and we continue to see it. And we're hoping with the 00Z tonight of the Euro that disagreement disappears because that'll make all of our forecasting easier. And I'll know which short range models to throw out, which we'll really know which models to focus on, and so will the national blended models. Let's see here. Been seeing models saying Georgia's going to get hammered. Atlanta and North has a chance to get a decent accumulation still. But when you're really on that border of where it says snow and no snow, your model could be reading some of that precip that is actually falling as sleet and ice as snow. It's tough for it to really read what the temperatures through the lower, mid, and upper layers of the troposphere are going to be out still 72 hours. And if you have colder at the surface, but you still have warmer air at the 500 and at the 250 millibar level up towards the tropopause, that could end up being freezing rain and sleet, even though the model thinks that's snow. So you would want your snow line to be have a little bit of a buffer to the south of Atlanta to still not see that ice and sleet line move to the north. Stephanie, Jennifer, Misty Rain, Tiffany, Misty Ann, Sarah. Thank you guys. Will Minnesota get snow? Minnesota's been in a little bit of a snow drought. Here's the issue. Now, this would be big snow for Minnesota. That's way out in the GFS, but I don't think it's unrealistic based on our pattern as we get into the latest time, as we approach more the 3rd, 4th week of January. We've had a lot of cold air up here through the northern plains. You can get a high pressure by converging winds, okay, that pushes air particles down near the surface. You can't get any lift. You can't get any precip, any snow. You can also get it when you have surface to higher atmosphere conditions, very, very cold. You don't have any kind of separating air, temperature boundary from your surface air all the way up to your tropopause, and it's just extremely, almost too stable of an environment, and that creates what we would call a cold core high, where it's so cold that you just don't have the opportunity for snow. What you would actually want to see up there in the northern plains would be a little bit of, we see all this cold air. We do want a little bit more of this, actually, a little bit of warming up in certain different layers of your, maybe a little through the mid layers of your troposphere up here, mid layers of the atmosphere. And this can help to cause some instability. And this is why the GFS sees a big snowstorm in here at that time. You get a little instability. This is actually not the best one to look at. Here's what we want to look at. You get a little instability, and then you get a system that you get some, temperature interaction here, and you can get a big system, a big low pressure system develop out of this. So, but you see all of this consistent cool air that wants to sit up here through the northern plains for a while. Here we go. That's what's going to help you if that comes to fruition. Does New York City get snow Saturday? It's possible, Shalom. It's still possible. Model's still like 1 inch or 2. So we'll see. It's going to be very, 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 very close. Stephanie and Shauna, thank you. Will Minnesota still get that cold air or no, Connor? Philip, what cold air? You guys are staying in cold air. Cold, below average. A little towards average temps here. Below average. You guys are really sticking into some troughing for a while. Even just based on our CPC, Minnesota average temperatures through the 17th, average to below average temperatures. So, you're not expected to really see any significant warming event. You could see a little ridging push through here and there over the next 2 weeks. Sarah, I appreciate you. 1,000 followers this stream over there on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. Any new runs for the storm in the northeast Mississippi? I'm sure, yeah. Our new GFS is out. And it brings the snow line down in the southeast, but I'd be real cautious about believing this. It could happen. Our new GFS does bring the snow line down there in the southeast. You can see it right here. But this is doing some weird stuff with the snow. This looks like a model error to me almost. But this would be... I do not see this happening. This would be crazy. But this is what also makes no sense. The fact that it has like just a straight line, like highway flat of 0 inches straight into 8 inches is so unrealistic. This is going to adjust. But I do think we could get that snow line a little farther to the south. Yeah, thanks, Caden. Yeah. Depends where you are, yeah, because like that would be like east, like 4:30, 10:30, yeah. Arkansas looks good for snow, through all the models, no matter what we see. It really does. Arkansas is in a pretty good spot. It is. Do we have a more updated national blend of models on here? Let's see. Ooh, is it loading in now? Let's see. 00Z, 3Z, national blend. Okay, we have the most updated national blend of models. Okay, interesting. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see here. So let's just go through this really quickly, and then I'm going to do a sub-only stream for just a little bit over on TikTok. But let's just look into this really quickly. So South Central. Now remember, this is the national blend of models. So this is going to be conservative a lot with snow totals. Now, why is this? Hold up, guys. I'm going to refresh this. Why is this being so bullish with snow totals? Oh my gosh. On the national blend? Probably because it's seeing the NAM now. So you would probably see these, even though it says right here like an inch or two into Dallas, this would probably be the national blend of models, actually saying 3 inches. It has to average in models that think are going to give you no snow, so it takes the models down. So the snow, rarely you would do this, but the snow you see on the national blend of models, you would actually want to increase it by a little bit. So that's the South Central. As we move into the Southeast, this is our most updated national blend of models. What's the national blend of models? It takes all of kind of your best forecasts from your best models and averages them out. And it's widely considered one of your best models to look at. It's conservative and it won't hype anything up. You can see more, and you probably will see more than the totals on a national blend, but you could see less. National blend of models brings the snow line south, probably because it's accounting for the new GFS. Still like some snow in Charlotte, Atlanta. So this is interesting. Still loves, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, most of Virginia, parts of, your DMV still looks pretty good. Maybe even Philly into central and southern New Jersey. West Virginia, it still likes a lot of Ohio. This isn't a bad look for you guys through, because this is the national blend through parts of Illinois, Indiana, and, southern and central Missouri, because the national blend would probably increase this a tiny bit. So, yeah, that's your latest updated national blend, which is actually a little more bullish than I actually thought it would be. Still on what would be considered your best forecast, your most conservative forecasting model still likes snow into these areas down in the south. So, interesting. Who did I miss up here? Missy Rain, Jennifer, Stephanie, Shauna, Hog, Sarah, Nicole, David, Yoga. Thank you guys. Sarah, Nicole, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to anyone who's followed or subbed. Like I said, I'm posting over the weekends. I usually post twice a day, stream twice a day, but I post every day, updates, stream every night. I can't wait to get home tomorrow from work and talk about the European and what's going on with that. And we'll have a nice forecast tomorrow that can be reliable. So we'll have to warn people about that. I'm going to do a sub-only stream on my TikTok for a little bit here, about 10-15 minutes, so I can answer all of my subs questions specifically, and we can take a look at a little bit more of some of this updated information that's coming in. What website do you use? Weatherbell and Pivotal Weather. Pivotal Weather is the one with the models. Weatherbell is the one that I can really go and see some of these totals. I didn't show you guys the Mid-Atlantic up here. The latest totals there. What's South Jersey looking like? Yeah, you can see here, based on our latest blend, this would actually be closer to 4 inches. How much snow could Oklahoma get? I think I showed you that earlier, South Central. But I think these totals would actually be a little bit higher. Let's see here. But yeah, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to do that. But I will be posting updates on this tomorrow. And streaming again tomorrow. Probably same time. Between 8:30 to 12. Yeah. And then once we get Thursday to Sunday, I do a little bit more streaming. Sometimes 2 videos. So that's what's going on with that. I appreciate you guys being in here. Seriously, thank you. It's been an awesome week. Excited to see how this moves forward. Still a chance for a significant snowstorm here. I mean, there's going to be snow falling in the south in a lot of places that I haven't seen in 80 years. That's just guaranteed. Probably in a lot of places, especially places North Carolina, Georgia, that have been really in a drought. I mean, a lot of places down south have. So, John, I appreciate the sub. But and Sarah. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm just gonna hop in a sub-only chat here just for a little bit. New York City could still see an inch, could see more. We have to wait for some adjustments tomorrow.